There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, MBs of all ages, welcome to, and I've practiced this, until further notice, super duper hippy dippy big brain chaos dickery octagon cast edition. We've got some special guests for you tonight. We've brought back Mindwaves back from wherever he's been. We've got Dylan Burns, DrHeemedOut, Stardust, CTV, Phil Coe, Nacho, TheSprouticus. I'm going to give them all a chance to introduce themselves in a moment. But first, we're going to go over some rules. And as we all know, we use the Tree of Logic format here. So please try to keep it civil at all times. Remember that your example is emulated by the chat. We wish to foster an environment of discussion, not name calling, and not telling people to shut the fuck up. Mindwaves.
Shut the fuck up, Danaba. Right now.
That's why I included the Mindwaves. Right, streaming the debate on your own channel is allowed and encouraged. You can use my page to rip content from for your own use if needed. My internet is crap. Don't watch it on my channel. Watch it on everybody else's. Right. Harassing other panelists before, during, or after the stream will not be tolerated. This includes telling your chat to do the same. I take effort ensuring my own chat does not attack, name call, or harass anyone appearing on the panel. We want to welcome an environment. And here comes the format. So each guest will get 2 minutes to give their opening thoughts on each topic. Please do not interrupt during the opening. Once again, this is the Tree of Logic format. The topic will then go into open discussion for 45 minutes where interruption is allowed, but please be civil and interrupt only when there's space to do so. Tree of Logic format. At the end of each topic, each guest will have 2 minutes to close. I will raise my hand or do this or this. If your opening or closing statements are going over time, this is to signal you should wrap up within 30 seconds. If you fail to wrap up, I will interrupt and we'll move on to the next guest. Now, if you're unable to speak during the open discussion, please raise your hand and I will note you down in DylanBurnsTV's notebook and put you in a queue to speak next. This is the hippy dippy format. Right. If I'm speaking during the discussion, it is to moderate. Please remain quiet while I'm speaking. I will only do so to direct conversation. I shouldn't have this problem on this panel because all of you are either hosts of roundtables or you're professional guests, and you've been on so many that you will definitely be respectful, and I will not need to, I'll just be able to sit back and enjoy this one, I think, right? Right?
Sure.
Yeah, right. All right, my own rule, the Steelman chair. We've updated the Steelman chair. I will hit you over the head with the Steelman chair when I feel like people are talking past each other. And I'll ask someone to Steelman someone else's argument. It won't be sides. I'll just ask someone that's speaking past someone to Steelman someone else's argument. You're to attempt to construct your best faith and strongest interpretation of their argument. If you fail to do so, you'll be muted, and I will make that decision. Nice. We do have a pronoun rule on this, no misgendering. Only deflects and distracts from debate. Don't do it. If you do it purposefully, and I deem it that you've done it purposefully, I will not send you any invites for any other show I help book. This shouldn't happen on this. So, one last thing.
Transgenders in this one? I don't think there's anyone that's.
You can still misgender a cis person. So
oh, okay.
No slurs, no TOS. We will start with opening statements and a brief introduction of your channel. I'll give you an extra minute to introduce and do your opening statements. We're going to go straight into the first topic. Let me update this. You have been given the topics beforehand. And yeah.
Oh, you said doo-doo, by the way.
Doo-doo. And one last thing. I would like to thank each and every one of you for appearing today. You're all people I respect, all people I enjoy watching, all people I enjoy hanging out with. And I feel blessed to have you on my show. It's a privilege. Thank you very much. Right. So the first topic. Let me change my title. The first topic, as we're going into the 4th of July on Sunday, happy Independence Day to all the Americans out there. I think Canada had a Canada Day. I'm not sure what that is. Did you get independence? I don't know. So the first topic is going to be, is patriotism good actually? And a brief introduction of your channel, please. All right, we're going to start off with Phil Coe, please.
Ah, thank you, sir. God bless every last one of you for this amazing 4th of July weekend as we get together with friends and family. I am the devilishly handsome outlaw himself, your king of extreme, Phil Coe. You can find me at KOE Nation on YouTube and Twitch. for a deep dive omnibus into all the topics of the day. And also, we have started the 32 Rye Tournament, where we will determine the rye whiskey of extreme at KOE Nation. Yes, folks, KOE Nation, YouTube, and Twitch, you know it is the right place to be. American patriotism, any patriotism. What could possibly be wrong with love of one's own country? Is our country perfect? No. No country is going to be perfect, but Nirvana is not for this world. And now, to paraphrase one Winston Churchill when he said, democracy is the worst system in all the world, except all the other ones. You could say much the same about America. America, it's just one of the worst places in all the world, except all the other ones. So yes, God bless this beautiful nation. God bless the beautiful people that make up the United States of America. And there's nothing wrong with loving your country. And in fact, it's one of the most patriotic acts that one could even possibly fathom, is to criticize your country when it goes wrong. There is possibly no higher act of patriotism that could be attainable. And so, folks, there's going to be a lot of dispute. There's going to be a lot of discussion. There's going to be some talks about some wrongs that any nation has made in their past. You will not find perfection. If that is your standard, you will live a life of disappointment. But folks, I hope every last one of you has an amazing, astounding, safe, happy, healthy 4th of July with you and yours, your friends and family, all the people you love, and celebrating the founding of this beautiful nation. This nation that every day we come closer and closer to living up to our very lofty principles, and God bless it. And you know what, folks? These beautiful lips of mine at KOE Nation, YouTube, and Twitch, they can speak no evil. And with that, I yield back to you beautiful people.
Thank you very much, Phil. Dr. Heemed? When he unmutes.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I don't know how to follow up that amazing, incredibly high energy, incredibly patriotic introduction, other than to
Thank you,
say,
sir.
what's up, everyone? I'm Dr. DrHeemedOut. I'm the lowest energy streamer here on Twitch, and I stream at 5:30 a.m. Monday to Friday, and we cover politics. We have a good time, and I'm really excited to have this discussion because I'm a Canadian. And we just had our Canada Day, which you brushed off, Danabo. It's a very, very big deal here, okay? We just had Canada Day, and it was a lot of contention with it because of the indigenous unmarked graves that are being discovered. So it brought up a lot of interesting questions about, how to confront these things of the past and how we can adequately celebrate the good things while acknowledging that there are issues still and issues in the past that haven't been addressed. But yeah, I'm really excited. I like to meme a lot with these guys, and I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, Heemed. CTV.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am critically thinking veteran. I am the pack leader, Wolf Pack, seekers of truth, and we know how to have fun. Work hard, play hard. That's the philosophy, right, Pack? Work
Sure.
hard, play hard. That's what we do around here, right? We encourage everybody to be more individuals in their way of thinking and their philosophy in life. Take the time to really delve down in the details about some of the things that are going on so people actually understand, not just, accept on blind faith. That said, I've got the best chat in all of Twitch, no doubt. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. Matter of fact, a lot of the people that are on this panel tonight frequent over to the pack and we get down on some discussion. Said patriotism in the United States? Of course. What are you, fucking commie?
And he just walks up. Okay. Thank you, CTV. Dylan of
Beautiful.
the Burns TV.
So, I mean, for me, it's always been patriotism is something that can do beautiful things. It can do quite ugly things. If you use patriotism as a way to like, hey, this is why we should benefit our country. This is why. So I'm getting a lot of echo. People hear that? Like people talk in the background.
Somebody's got
Yeah, I'm
some
hearing
device
that.
on.
There we go.
Somebody said something about a router. Okay, there we go. So patriotism can be a beautiful thing where you use it to criticize your country and advance its interests. For example, MLK described himself as a patriot. Why? His life's work was dedicated to criticizing the United States in the goal of advancing it forward and making it a better place to live. That is patriotic activity. Talking about the progress we've made is also patriotic activity because you want to maintain and continue that progress. I want to preserve things like the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and other freedoms that we have in the United States. But, of course, patriotism could also be used to try to roll over criticisms. For example, you can say, oh, well, if you don't love it, leave it, as a kind of criticism of any time somebody goes on TV and criticizes racism or structural inequality or something like that. It's the idea that if you criticize the United States in some way, it's unpatriotic activity. If anybody saw somebody criticize somebody's work, if I go to somebody who's an alcoholic relative of mine who has problems and I say, you've done a lot of great things with your life, but this alcoholic issue you have, it needs to be changed, and I want to help you, give you the resources to change it. Nobody would do that out of hatred. People would do that out of love. If I didn't love that person, I wouldn't bother. I'd say, fuck them. I don't care. Go destroy your life. So I think some people who use patriotism as kind of a weapon to attack those who are trying to benefit the country and improve the country's conditions, I think that is a gross use, a misuse of patriotism. But I think patriotism can be a beautiful thing, and this 4th of July will be celebrating it in that manner.
And not that you need to, but do you want to let people know who you are? What your channel is? All right. That's DylanBurnsTV. There's no introduction needed.
I'm Jamal Khashoggi. I have been hiding in hiding for years. They think I'm dead. I'm not. I'm just streaming on Twitch.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are you the Dylan Burns that I keep hearing about?
Yeah,
Are you that guy?
Jamal Khashoggi, the other guy.
Jamal Khashoggi. Oh, because that other guy, right? Like he was actually supposed to be like a big deal. So
yeah, he
but maybe
was
though. It was
kind of,
really
a
it
little
was
bit.
really only like one night. He's like a one night a week Andy where he's really popular.
You know, he kind of
all right, let's calm it down. Let's go down.
You know, his view on what he got a little chopped up, you know, but okay, continue, sorry.
All right, Nacho.
All right. Wait, is my mic on mute? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought I muted myself instead.
You're
I
good.
unmuted. So I'm American Nacho. I play video games. I stream. I talk politics. Find me at twitch.tv/American_Nacho. I would agree with Dylan a little bit in that yes, patriotism can be misused, just similarly to like how maybe religion or other things could be misused. But overall, I think it's a good thing. I consider myself a civic nationalist. I'm extremely proud of this country. We champion a lot of things in the world. We're also back-to-back World War champions. Okay, and we did a lot of things. We freed the slaves. We wrote the Constitution. We championed civil rights. We freed the slaves. We've come a long way. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being proud of America, but also you shouldn't let your country, get away with everything either. So I think healthy criticism is necessary, but I think definitely, we should be proud of our country. So that's where I stand on that.
Thank you very much, Nacho. Stardust, please.
What up? Am I allowed to curse here?
I would hope.
No slurs.
Okay.
As long as it's
no
elegant.
slurs.
Not against though.
I wasn't gonna say I was just gonna say what up, big pimps. All right. I'm Stardust. And every Saturday I host a thing called Chaos Cast where we debate the mundane and sometimes very messed up things. We've debated MILFs before, and we've debated clowns before, and I'm here to represent the clown community. Also, I stream every day. We talk politics, pop culture, and I also work as hard at shit posting as possible. In regards to the question, is patriotism really good? I think patriotism is necessary for the cohesion of a group. If we're just like looking at it from a scientific lens, patriotism is great for that, and I think it's good to be proud of where you're from, proud of the country you're in, and have this pride. It's part of self-worth too, right? So cohesion and self-worth. However, while it's this great thing, one of our duties as part of patriotism is to acknowledge the mistakes that we've made in the past and to try and improve things for the future and for people who come after us so they can also be patriotic and be proud of the place that they are. So, yeah.
Thank you, Stardust. TheSprouticus, star guest.
So if you guys have been watching Twitter recently, I'm obviously Danabo's favorite panelist. He's very excited to have me on, but I'm TheSprouticus on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter for the same tag. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can find me from anywhere from 8 to 11. It's typically when I stream, unless I'm invited to a debate outside those times. With that being said, is patriotism a good thing? I don't know if I included enough America in my screen or not. But if you can't tell from my screen whether or not I think patriotism is a good thing, then you're either blind or irrelevant. So with that being said, I think patriotism is a good thing, and I think it can be used to call out the government on what they've done, such as the bastardization of the Constitution over the past 200 and something years that this country has been alive. So I mean, you're gonna hear things about how evil America's been in the past and how terrible, what terrible things we've done. This is why we shouldn't be patriotic of our nation. There's not gonna be a single nation in the world that you don't see that makes mistakes. It's about how you fix them. And we hear about this from people all the time. You hear about, it's not about falling, right? It's about how you get back up. It's about how you keep pushing. All right, so it's not about the mistakes that America's made. It's how we've moved on from those mistakes and how we've kept pushing forward. And it's how America is the greatest experiment that's ever happened in the entire world.
Thank you, star guest Sprouticus. Last but not least, MindWavesTV.
Yeah, so I'm MindWaves TV, and I guess Dylan's right. I am coming back from the dead, as I do every once in a while. I guess you could call me the Jesus of Twitch politics. You know, give me a few days or maybe a few months, and I'll sprout back up from the dead every once in a while. So it's good to be back on a panel. Feels like
Well,
home.
title.
This is where I. This is kind of. Yeah, this feels very familiar, and it's good to have Danabo in the seat, and a lot of familiar faces, a lot of unfamiliar faces as well. So it's good to see people like Stardust, and I've interacted with CTV. I don't think I've met any of the other right wingers, so it's good to see new faces. And but yeah, as far as patriotism, I think we're gonna have to talk a lot about what is patriotism, because it really feels like everybody has a different definition of what patriotism means to them. And I think that the left is doing a pretty lousy job of defining patriotism, or even using patriotism and helping define what patriotism means in the United States. I think that patriotism is a tool, just like a lot of things, and it's kind of up to us to define it as a people. And unfortunately, the left has abandoned patriotism and allowed the right to almost have a monopoly on what it means to be a patriot in the United States. And it seems like the right has pretty much, this is a generalization, but I mean, the right has pretty much defined patriotism by, opposition and superiority to others or other countries. And I think that that's kind of poisons the real meaning of patriotism, at least to me. It seems like the right only really uses patriotism in like an anti-federal government sort of way when it's the opposition in power, when it's Democrats in power, but when it's their party in power, they don't really give a fuck. So I don't know. I think that we kind of have to have that discussion of what is patriotism. So
Thank you very much, MindWaves. Before we go into open discussion, we've got one last shout out, and that's for myself. I am Dan Abbo, twitch.tv/Dan Abbo. I book panels. I send invites for the Hippy Dippy. I send invites for Drunken Debates. I've also helped Dr. Heem book his So You Think You Know Politics political trivia game show, and I've been sending guests over to Stardust for a Chaos Cast. If you want to be on any of the shows I help book, there is a booking and recruitment section in my Discord. Go and join it, put your name down, put your politics, and we'll see if we can get you on a panel. Also, one last thing to advertise, shellshockcbd.com. Go to shellshockcbd.com and enter code DANABO for 10% off all purchases. Sprout's going to show you some bomb drops. They are the bomb. So go over there, support veterans, get 10% off all purchases. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. You're free to shout at each other.
Okay, so first things first. First things first, right? First things first is since the 4th of July is coming up, I think we should all join together in a rendition of "Happy Birthday" to the country, right? So I'll lead it off. Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday to
you. This sounds terrible.
Happy birthday, dear America.
Happy
birthday
You're welcome.
to you.
Eat
Now,
shit, Great
notice-
Britain.
Hold on, no.
Wow.
Notice that Dr. Heemedal,
What?
MindWaves, and Dylan Burns all did not partake in the
kidding,
singing
I'm
of the Happy
kidding.
Birthday to the Hippy Dippy, right? Or to the country, right? They didn't partake in the singing of the Happy Birthday. What does that tell me right off the bat?
I'd rather
Suspect
sing. I
communist.
wouldn't even help blow out the
Suspect
candles, would
communist.
they?
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Right off
Communists
the
can
bat.
be
Happy birthday
patriotic
for the
too.
hippy dippy,
Communists
like
can
you
be
said.
patriotic too.
Of
I'm
what,
sure
the
they're
Soviet
patriotic
Union?
if they're communists.
Of
I
what,
don't
the
know.
Soviet
Yeah,
Union?
they're definitely not
They can
American.
be
but
All right,
communist
come
to
on,
the
one at a time, one at a time, one at a
USSR.
time, one at a time.
Suspect
Jeez.
communists.
This
Come
is too
on,
fun.
one at a time, one at a time. Right, we're gonna have to do hands already. Who wants to go
So,
first?
no, that's actually a really good question. Is
All right.
patriotism these
got you,
sort of
Phil.
like meaningless displays of I don't know what do you want
Failure?
to call them? Like loyalty or worship of a country? Is that what patriotism means?
No,
Do we-
patriotism,
do we have
according
to
to
sit
the
around a
Oxford
flag and sing
English,
songs to be a patriot?
according to
What do you think
Oxford
it
English
was?
Dictionary, patriotism is defined as love for your country and the desire to defend it. I think that's a good thing. What's wrong with that? Why?
Also, I would add that we want to have the best version of that, right? So you're constantly updating and fixing bugs and troubleshooting and problem solving and trying to have the
already drunk,
most
Nacho?
optimal. Hey, I'm
Are you
about
already
5
drunk?
beers in, man. This is
Yeah.
4th of July weekend, okay?
Oh, I didn't even know.
Like
people
I
were
said,
Came in here
like I
ready,
said, like I said in
ready
my
to
intro,
celebrate
it's
America.
not about how a country falls, and it's not about how you fall. It's about how you get up and you keep moving forward. And
So
like
my-
I said, you're gonna hear a whole bunch of people talk about how America's fallen, how we've done these terrible things, and this is why we should be patriotic in this country. And that's just plain and utter bullshit, because it's about how you get back up. It's about how you move forward. And with that being said, like, I think that patriotism is an amazing thing, and that yes, sometimes it is mind waves, sometimes it is doing symbols of patriotism, right? So a symbol of patriotism could have just been singing "Happy Birthday" to the nation, as it's getting closer to our birthday, right? And another symbolism could be standing and placing your hand over your heart, or saluting if you're authorized to do so during the national anthem.
That's
To
That
be authorized to do that, by the way, just so you know.
Does-
And mind
does-
waves, right? Back to
Well,
your
hold on.
Saying,
Wait,
though.
wait. Before you go, does refusing to do so mean that you're not a patriot? Like, does that necessarily mean that you are?
It shows definitely a lack of respect for the men whose lives that came before you and died for your right to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do,
It
right?
d-
So it shows
I
a lack
think
of
it-
respect, to be sure. Should the government actually round you up and take you off to jail? No. But it doesn't mean that
No.
just because that shouldn't happen doesn't also mean that there was a lack of respect being shown, right?
Why?
So
Wait,
back
one
to what
sec.
you said a minute ago, right? Back to what you were
be-
saying a
To
minute
be a
ago
patriot
with
doesn't
regards to
necessitate
like
respect for this
worshiping
idea
and
of a country,
happy
though.
birthday,
Like,
right? Like
Eh,
whenever I
okay,
sing
okay,
happy
what-
birthday to
You can
somebody,
love
it's
your
not necessarily
country.
worship.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
You
okay,
know what I
I
mean?
don't,
Wait,
I don't know
Stardust,
about that.
thank you. Go for it,
Sorry,
Stardust.
sorry. I don't know about that. I think you can feel national pride, you can feel love, you can feel devotion for your country, and still not partake in things that you find are meaningless gestures, right? So, like, for example, not everybody wanted to sing "Happy Birthday" to America, and I think that's fine. You know, it might you know,
Well,
for
I
some
didn't
people
want
it's
to do
just
it
not
because I
for
thought it
them.
was insulting to the United States to have such a poor rendition to the Happy Birthday song for it.
Well, until
Honestly,
your
I,
King of
I see you
Extreme's
guys kind of like
beautiful
traitors.
summer sounds and my voice came in
Fuck,
and just
dude.
saved the whole thing, then it was just beautiful. It was just 5 stars. Give me the Grammy.
I mean, so can we use that in everyday thing? Can you be proud of your family and then decide not to sing "Happy Birthday" to your mom when it's her birthday? Even if it's even if it's a horrible rendition, just because you decide it's a horrible rendition, or you decide that this isn't, you don't want to do
Some
something
family
that's
members
meaningless,
don't like
right?
it when you
Yes.
sing to them. So, like,
Well,
some
and
family
so
members don't like it when you sing
did
to them.
America? I'm sorry. Did the country of America tell you that they don't like it when you sing "Happy Birthday" to
It
America?
didn't tell you that it likes it. It didn't tell you that it
No,
likes it
and
when you
my
sing to
first
it.
and my first
Because
my
it's an
first- my
inanimate
first
object,
impression-
my dude.
My first
It's an
impression as a-
inanimate
My
object.
first,
Folks
my
just
first
hate
impression
showings of
as
affection.
No,
my
no.
first
Is this
impression
is
as
this
of
is
anyone
this
else's first
disrespectful?
impression
Me
is
dressed up
that
like
you
a
sing
clown
Happy
and singing
Birthday.
"Happy Birthday" to America? That somebody might look at that and think that's really disrespectful.
the
I
difference
look
Considering
like a
all of us
clown
were
right
singing
now.
it, considering all of us were singing
Fine,
it, right? I
fine.
don't think it would have been that thing.
The
If it
difference
would've been-
here is
if it
that
would've
nobody
been
was
that,
dressed
maybe
like a
that's a different
clown.
story.
The difference here is that the only
for it, Dylan.
feelings getting hurt over nobody like going around a flag or singing songs or whatever is you
There you
guys.
go,
the ones that are
Dylan.
wearing flags,
That's
right?
more
The
like
ones
it.
that are supposed to be
Attaboy.
supporting
God
Patriots.
damn,
You guys
there
are the
we
ones
go,
crying
Dylan.
that nobody's willing to sing these
A
songs,
plus.
right?
No, we're not crying. We're
There
just
you go.
I'm making
Dylan,
a
that's
point.
more
I'm
like
making a
it.
point,
There
right,
you go.
Mindwaves? I'm making a point. So the point is that we all sing "Happy Birthday" to our family members, or the ones that enjoy it.
Yeah,
And
but
and
the United
far-
States is not a family member. It's not a
so-
person.
So far, the country of America hasn't told me that they don't enjoy being sung "Happy Birthday" to. So I'll continue to sing "Happy Birthday" to the nation. As I do sing "Happy Birthday" to Jesus Christ on Christmas. All right. It may not be the exact day of that Christ was born, but I sing "Happy Birthday" to Christ on
You know
Christmas.
what? I
all right?
similarly
So-
treat a piece of
I don't-
cloth like a god. Yes.
Is that a
don't
thing?
give a
People
shit.
actually
Listen, hold
sing-
on.
one
I
second.
don't give a shit.
I-
if you
okay,
sing
okay.
Do
birthday,
people
right?
actually?
What you
wait,
just
I
said,
have a question.
Too many
Sproutacus.
people talking.
What-
Too many
what you
people
just-
talking. One at a time.
I
One at a
genuinely
time.
have just a quick question. Do people actually sing "Happy Birthday" to Jesus on Christmas?
Yes.
Really?
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 Yeah.
Do people do that?
I swear to
You
God,
just-
I've
you're
never
just
heard
speaking-
that.
I mean, like, are you
Suspect
Child
Christian.
from
Dylan's a suspect Christian now.
Bethlehem. Yeah, they
If
do.
if,
Are you just
if I
talking
can
about the
just
carols?
respond really quickly to Sproutacus, just like you said, America, the country, didn't ask you to sing to it. It didn't ask you to not, it didn't ask you to wait, no, sorry, I messed it up. Okay. It did not ask you to stop singing, right? But it also did not ask you to actually sing in the first place. So, I mean, I think it would be like, with that reasoning, I think it would be normal to accept that some people don't want to sing
I'm
Happy
sorry.
Birthday to America
Sure,
without
that's the
being.
Stardust, what family member in your family,
Why
right?
are you
Wait,
personifying the idea of the nation? This is so weird.
It's a little weird.
The nation
No,
is
I
not a
speak for
person.
America. No, I speak for America. No,
No,
I
okay,
speak for America.
Stardust.
Wait,
What family member
the
or what
nation
birthday party
of
did you go to?
America.
What birthday party did you go to in which the person who's having the party is for them, right?
They run
What
away,
birthday party
yeah,
did
we're
they
not
say?
gonna
Did they
sing
did
at
they say,
them.
hey, can everyone sing at me? Like what birthday party have you gone to where they're like,
Well, okay,
hey,
here's
so
the thing with the
boring.
birthday party.
Who
Come
the
on, happy birthday to me.
Sproutacus,
Come on, guys, let's sing.
Sproutacus. If
Okay.
you can let me speak for a second, okay? Sproutacus, if you go to a birthday party, that party has been thrown with the intention of celebrating that person. The intention's already there. So if you're just somebody, a citizen of America, and it happens to be July 4th, and maybe somebody doesn't want to actually sing, they can still feel prideful of the country. They might not be at a birthday party for America, they might not be at a July 4th party. And either way, America is not a person. It just like you would I respect everybody who their right to sing happy birthday, and I also partake in it. It should go vice versa, in that you respect other people's right to not sing, because you know what, maybe their throat is tired, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't like singing, maybe
They think that
Yeah.
like patriotism is a lot more than just singing songs or celebrating the birthday of a country. Maybe patriotism means something like actually doing
True.
something for their community or their fellow people of their nation, right? Maybe that's what
yes.
patriotism means. to them.
Mindwaves, I'm with you on that. Like, one of the best things, like, I don't give a fuck if you stand up and sing. I don't care. But I just wish that people would. I want more people to be involved. I just want everybody to understand that regardless of what problems we have here, and like I said in my opening statements, I don't think you should let America get away with everything just because we've done a lot of good shit in the past or whatever, or because we have free speech or whatever else we have, But that's one of the most amazing things about this country, is that we have the First Amendment. We have the right to stand up and speak our mind and say what we want to say about the country. We have the right to criticize our country and our government when they're doing the wrong things. So that's one of the most amazing things I think that I like about this country. And regardless of where else you live on the planet, I feel like you have the most freedoms and we have the most rights for any peoples whether you're LGBTQ, any of that stuff. We have a long way to go, and we can work on a lot of things, but this is still the freest country on the planet. So,
All right, before
I
he
do want to mention that it's been 100 years since the development of the Chinese Communist Party. It's the anniversary. So I know you all helped me sing a happy birthday to the CCP.
I'm gonna mute.
Happy birthday,
Birthday
Chairman
to
G.
you.
Happy birthday,
Stop.
Chairman G.
Stop. No.
Yeah, it's
Happy
wonderful.
Go,
birthday.
Finally, a country I can
Hellfire.
sing
What?
happy
No.
birthday to. Let's go.
Enjoy
Wait,
Hellfire.
wait.
we're
Right.
celebrating
If
the
I'm
actual
speaking, I'm
anniversary
speaking. I'm
of
speaking. I'm
the
speaking. I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Citizens.
I'll have to mute everyone. Come on. You're all panel hosts. You know how to do this properly. You don't have to keep shouting over each other. Before everyone continues, I've got a question for the panel. Right. As you are all aware, I'm a British immigrant. I live in Arkansas, and I've got 2 kids. My son is now he's going to start kindergarten next year, and he's going to start having to pledge allegiance to the United States and the flag. Do you think that's something that should be forced on kids? Is that patriotic, and could this continue? Go around the panel.
Good thing.
Actually,
I have no
kids,
problem
of course
with it.
not. If they want to do
But
it,
yes,
fine.
this panel is getting so contentious. You know, Danabo, I think everybody needs to probably look at Shell Shock CBD gummies. I mean, like, I think that's probably the best thing that they could do going forward. But also, you know, if there's people getting together and they're wanting to have a party and a celebration of really whatever kind, whether it's 4th of July or take your pick of what the occasion is, and you're one of those folks that are going, no, you shouldn't have that party and you shouldn't enjoy it. And you're like, sorry, you're kind of an asshole. I mean, that's just the way it is. People want to get together, have a good time. God bless them, let them have a good time. Is there better advancements we could make, and is there mistakes we made? Sure. But goddamn, we're having a great time. We're getting together, and we're celebrating the founding of a nation that helped expand human rights greater than any other nation in all our history. And like the fact that you're wanting to sing, a birthday to a nation that's done nothing but bring human rights back, I find pretty cringe. And with that, I yield.
Heemed?
Hey, wait, okay, wait. That was directed at me.
Wait, Heems?
The one person who's saying.
Wait. No. Wait. There's an order here. Come on.
China's pulling human rights back. You can't even deny it.
Heemed had his hand up. I brought him in the book. Heem's go. Go, Heemed. I'll write you down, Dylan. All right.
Let Dylan go. He's too hype.
All right,
I gotta
go on
hear
then,
what
go
he
on
has to
then.
say.
Okay, so this is really weird because I said that as a joke and a meme, right? But the thing is, this also revealed a certain thing about Americans framing on things, that I mentioned that, and the only thing they see, they've denounced a whole country as the one thing they did was
government.
destroy human rights, right?
it's the government.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
The government. Okay.
We're talking about the government.
Okay, wait. Okay, so if that's the case, then the United States government, and we talk about that. So
We've
I
talked
could
about
just
it's
say
not perfect,
all
but
the
it's
United
still
States
better.
government did was perpetuate slavery and systematic oppression. Wait, that's
We've
extremely
actually
reductive.
fixed that.
Let
We've
me count.
actually-
Jesus
actually-
Christ.
We're living up to our principles
KOE,
now.
KOE, you
That-
have some
that's-
liquor
hold on,
there.
that sounds-
Stuff the
that
bottle
sounds-
in your mouth so I can
please.
talk, okay?
I don't think I
Okay,
can do that.
so, well, please
I mean,
shut
that
up.
sounds philosophy,
God
right?
damn it, can I
Come
just
on.
talk?
This is fun.
Your panel host.
Funny,
let
I
Dylan
was
talk.
interrupted. Now Dylan just asked if he can talk. It's funny.
Go.
I mean, Dylan's got a look. Dylan has a sound philosophy going on here, right? I
Okay.
mean, the
I
reality.
am speaking. So what I'm gonna wait. No. I'm speaking to more people on my stream than all of your streams combined. So what I'm gonna do is mute myself and just talk to them.
I've already muted
Instead.
everyone. Go, Dylan.
Okay.
No, because I have questions for you.
Oh, well, guess Dylan's on his own.
Okay.
then.
I see.
Dr. Haynes.
Drum came out. That's
Well,
all right.
then
He
all
had
you
got-
beautiful
he had to
people,
do.
you know-
He had to do the thing, right?
Dr.
So I think what we
Haynes.
should.
Oh, okay. So
He did the
basically,
Stone Cold Steve Austin, took his ball and went home. I get it. I get
okay.
it.
I'm interrupting Dylan the rest of the night, just so y'all know ahead of time.
Dr. Heemed.
I'm
Okay.
gonna interrupt you the rest of the night then.
Dr. Heemed.
Okay, so as I was saying,
Sweet, beautiful harmony.
Like I agree with I don't know, whatever was said whenever it was said about like embracing like the ideals, right? Like it's good to educate ourselves on what the good parts of any given country are. I'm an immigrant to Canada, and I would assume that immigrants to America feel the same way, where in that you know, I'm grateful for the fact that I get to live here. It's a fucking blessing. And I'm very grateful for the freedoms and the rights and everything that comes with the ability to live here and all the, you know, everything that's afforded me. But at the same time, I don't really sing happy birthday or get a jumping castle on Christmas or do anything like this. I don't find that, like, I don't need to do that. Even when I go to sporting events, I don't ever feel like fucking I need to stand up and sing loud and proud. Like I think there's so many other ways you can just be educated, you can advocate for the ideals of your country and policies and all these kind of things. And honestly, a really good way to have patriotism, I think that's not toxic, well, less toxic, is like through sports, right? Like the Olympics are coming up. I think patriotism in these kind of things is a beautiful thing. It brings people together, and I think that, you know, those kind of things we should embrace. But just like raw patriotism, I don't know. One other thing I wanted to mention is that as someone who lives in Canada, and I'm sure as you Americans, if you've ever been in Canada, you notice this as well. As soon as you go into America, you see significantly more American flags and American flag paraphernalia on people's trucks and these kind of things. And I just find that like maybe there's a level that is like too aggressive with that. And you know, there's better ways to channel your love for your country than to sing happy birthday maybe.
All right, is that it? All right, I guess
I
we're
would
finished
agree
on
with that. I think the
patriotism.
best way you can show pride for your country is to vote and be involved in your political system. Have your voice heard.
Yep. If you want to improve the nation, then be the change
I-
you want to see.
I
Can
did
I
want to
add one
ask
more
Dylan some
Can I-
things though.
Wait, before you do that, can I just add one
Go
more
ahead.
thing? So don't you think that like for example, embracing something like immigration would be something that is very patriotic? I posed this to the conservatives on the panel. Like,
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
isn't immigration like an American one of the things that's so great about America that it was built on the
Yes.
back of immigrants? So
Yes.
don't you
Yeah,
think that
absolutely.
So do you guys agree that rejecting immigration is an un-American thing to do?
Yes, if you're just like rejecting it wholly, then yeah, that's pretty un-American. I
Okay.
come from a family of immigrants too, so
Cool.
I'm like half Mexican.
agree,
and then
yeah.
on my mom's side, we immigrated from like France
Everybody-
and Scotch, Irish, or something. Yeah.
Everybody else, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
Sorry, I kind of
I'm-
froze out. What was that?
sorry. No, go ahead.
Sorry, I said like if part of being a patriot, right, is embracing the ideals of America. And I would say one of the biggest ideals of America is immigration, right? It's built on the back of immigrants and so on and so forth. And it's one of the most multicultural nations in the world. So would you guys agree that rejecting a concept of like immigration is unpatriotic?
No
Rejecting
comment from
the-
the conservatives? Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, no,
If you're talking,
sorry,
if
I
you're
was typing
speaking in
on my
terms of
phone.
like, if someone is wholly against all immigration, then yeah, that's pretty un-American.
Yeah,
But
okay,
if
that's
someone-
certainly
someone-
un-American.
So
Someone,
here's
like,
the thing,
because
though.
this is
Most,
my position. I think if we should focus on immigrating here legally, you know what I mean, and not encouraging people to come here illegally, then yeah, that's really it. I mean,
Would
I
you,
don't
would
think
you,
there's
wait,
anything
would you,
wrong with
I
wait,
that.
don't
would
really
you
like
say
a-
that
I
the
don't
would
like-
you say that the Republican Party is unpatriotic for then totally ignoring the state of immigration in the United States right
Wait.
now and not doing anything to expand
Before-
immigration
wait,
at
wait,
all?
wait,
or
wait,
make
wait,
it-
wait,
make
wait,
before
it
we go on this
easier?
tangent,
Are you
I wanna-
seriously
Would
gonna
you say
bring
that
up
patriotic
ignoring?
for-
before we go on this
Kamala
tangent-
Harris still
You got a
hasn't
weird
been to the
definition of the word
Kamala
ignore.
Harris still
Before,
hasn't been to the border.
Right, you're
You
all panel guests and
Oh
panel
my God.
hosts. You know how to do
So-
this. Stop talking
Okay,
over
Wait,
each
so
other.
I just asked a
before we-
question. I want somebody to
Jeez,
answer it for me. That's all.
Right,
Come on,
Dylan.
let Dylan talk.
Dylan.
So before we go on this this tangent, Nacho, you wanted to ask
Well,
me
I
a
don't
question.
know. I mean, like there was a
Oh,
certain-
yeah.
CTV. Don't do this. Dylan.
I have it
Nacho.
written down.
And he shouldn't have fucking went to go swinging his fucking viewer dick in the fucking in the panel, right? Like I don't actually give a fuck about that. And then
doesn't
like
matter.
that was just childish.
Wait, one second.
It was childish.
It
Yeah.
was childish. Well, you should have talked over me. I'm sorry.
I didn't talk over you, as a matter of
You
fact. I was
did.
sitting
Literally,
waiting.
you
It was
and
Travis
KO
who
was
actually
all
going
me.
in
What
and
is going on
interrupting you,
here?
but Now,
Oh my
no,
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 God.
if you
that-
agree to be on
right,
a
this
panel,
is
you
where
should
we're
be
at.
on
I
a
don't know
panel.
what
Both
to
of
say.
you,
Jesus
okay?
Christ.
I'm
Okay,
tired of
let's
my
stand with
rights
their
as a
feelings
clown.
for what now?
I'm tired of my rights as a clown
Jesus
being
Christ.
overexplained by
True.
both of these people here.
I'm
Right.
happy
You're
that
a
TV
badass
thinks they
clown.
have a big penis, though. American Nacho, can I hear your question now?
It was more like a
Sure.
small one that you were over exaggerating, but we can go ahead with that.
You can look at my penis
So-
after stream, okay? American Nacho.
I'm curious, as
want in
someone
on
who is a lot
I'm
more
sure it's on
in-
microfilm.
Jesus
In
fucking
front-
Christ.
as someone who's a lot more informed in geopolitics, even just from my brief brush up with geopolitics and studying other countries and what their laws are and how they're like some of their histories. I mean, can you help me either confirm or debunk what I think is a fact that America is the best option, like wholly as a country, like as far as general effect, as far as all the things that we offer to people.
Well, it depends on exactly like what you prioritize, right? If you prioritize freedoms, it depends on
Well,
what
that's
types of freedoms, right?
that's
Because
what I
for
mean,
example,
though.
well, for example,
mean
like there's
generally,
yeah, it's
because I'm sure
difficult.
if you want a specific thing, right?
Like, for example, like in our country, we have the freedom to own a gun, and that's the thing that in a lot of places you don't have. But a lot of other places which don't let you have guns have much higher standards of living. Your people live longer, they have higher wages overall, they have
Healthcare
more
is
union
covered.
protection, healthcare is covered, they have stuff like that. But if you look at the United States on other things, you could talk about the fact that we have we have a much larger economy. There's the fact that when it comes to like certain rights are enshrined in the Constitution.
We have national
But when you talk about
security,
yeah, but the thing is, when it
the
comes to
biggest
freedoms, other governments
the
don't
biggest dick in the
monitor their
whole
people
world.
nearly as much as we do, though. When it comes to like online monitoring, so when you look at the Patriot Act, there's some countries that actually don't do that to the same extent. But if something like this matters, we do have the most powerful military on earth. Personally, I don't think that really dictates on whether you, as an American living in America, like have a better like lifestyle.
But I feel
But for some people, that
I,
matters.
I feel like that's what's great about America too, because
Maybe
even if
securing
even if on
shipping
a federal level, like the federal government isn't going to do everything that you want it, some states specifically can do things a lot better than other states. So you could say, well, I'm going to move to America, but I'm going to move to this state because this state has more, more of this,
That
and
is
this, and they
true.
can cover everything.
That could be a benefit. And for some people it would be, where like in some states like you can have like more social programs, more stuff like that. But then somebody could easily bring up the fact that like in some states that means conversion therapy is banned, and in other states it isn't banned,
Yeah.
which I amount that to torture. And so when in other countries like in Canada, one quick federal ban is going to be a lot more normalized than having something like that happen in the United States. And so like the thing about states is, if there's something that you think should be banned across the board, something like states' rights doesn't apply to that well, right? Because I believe conversion therapy should be banned across the board, where I think that should be federal, where it's become a states' rights issue. The same thing
Yeah,
with like the gay marriage was like
But
the same
that's what's
thing.
great. But that's what's great about the way that our government works, though, right? Because you can
I'm
get it
saying
banned in your
there's goods
state.
I'm saying there's goods and bads, right? Where I
Yeah,
could be
but
like,
you would
hey,
never say that, like, oh, well,
Yeah.
we should just leave slavery up
on
to the
the whole,
states, right?
Yeah.
You would never
Yeah,
say
that's
that.
infringing on somebody's other some other person's freedoms, right?
Like,
if you're
yeah,
leaving
no,
this
but I
up to
think
the
that's
state
But that's
Well,
written
so-
into our constitution too. It took some
To
people a
infringe on
lot
other
longer
people's
to,
freedoms?
the
wake
thing
up
is,
to that.
what I'm saying is that every
fact that
type
all
of
men are created
government has
equal.
its positives and negatives, right? And personally, for the way I want to live my life, I believe the American style has more positives than negatives for the way I want to live my life.
Based.
But I believe there's a lot of positives that other countries have that I want to import here. Like when it comes to things
True.
on
I'm with you
healthcare,
on that.
when it comes to things like, for example, Canada has banned conversion therapy on the national level. It should be the same way here, on the federal level. So so yeah, and of course, here's another thing: freedom. We're the freest country on planet. Woohoo! What about the fucking drug war? That's something that CTV isn't even here to see here.
Don't
But the
mention the
thing is the
drug
fact
war.
that we have the drug war.
Don't mention the
Canada,
war.
by the way,
Like
just
Portugal's more free when it comes to drugs than we are. Like that's just a fact.
just a quick reminder, as Americans, maybe you guys can, it's always good to look at other
Can I
countries.
say one last thing? I'm
Just
sorry.
quick, okay, go ahead.
The thing is, and let's say you're making the states' rights argument, at any point in time, the president of the United States could track down on drugs because federal law overrides state law. So that states' rights thing doesn't even apply to drugs if the president just changes his mind about it.
Also,
But-
I was just gonna wait. Can I
Pretty
just
close
piggyback
to
off
changing
of
the
that?
law federally, so
Can I
we're
just
trying to
piggyback off
fix
of
that
real quick,
mistake too.
real quick. So I was also just saying, just remind yourselves always that Canada has had fully legalized marijuana for the last 3 years, and I would say that's a pretty fucking
Based.
sick freedom to have.
All right.
Yeah.
Before anyone else
and,
jumps in,
it's one thing, though.
before anyone else
Go
jumps in, Spartacus has been waiting for a long time. I've got him in my notepad twice.
So I'd like to point out a few things. One is, and because I haven't really had a full time to actually talk. So one is Dylan Burns wanting to sing "Happy Birthday" to the CCP. And I find that absolutely hilarious, knowing what the CCP does, because I know Dylan knows what the CCP does. So it's just a stunt. It was just a stunt that Dylan Burns was trying to pull. And he's just trying to say, "Oh, you guys aren't going to sing Happy Birthday to CCP. Oh, you guys are terrible. Why aren't you patriotic to the CCP?" There's a lot of reasons I'm not patriotic to the CCP.
Cringe.
So now we're gonna move on to MindWaves saying, are conservatives not patriotic because they don't care about what happens on the border?
Not conservatives.
see,
He said
the thing-
Republicans.
Republicans,
yeah.
okay. So our Republicans are not patriotic because they don't care what happens on the border. It's not that they don't care, right? So what's been happening on the border has been happening on the border for a long amount of time. Actually, in the beginning of Joe Biden's president, it increasingly got worse. And Kamala Harris has still not been to the border. She has still not been down to the border.
I don't care about
I don't care about the border. That doesn't matter to me. I want policy changes.
The closest she's gotten is El Paso, which is 30 miles away from the border. Still not at the border, okay?
El Paso is the border, dude. Have you ever been in El Paso, fucking dumbass? Have you ever been in El Paso?
Name calling, come on.
It is the
This
border.
is a symbolic gesture
come
rather
on,
than
let's
just
not
doing
name
a
Come on.
Wait, she went for like 13 minutes, didn't she?
The El Paso.
Also, let's talk about that. Somebody visiting the border is that really what we care about, or is it
If
actually
you're in
past
charge of
Maybe.
immigration,
Wait, but you brought up immigration. If she's supposed to be in charge of immigration,
1% at a
Let
time.
me finish.
Yeah.
Please.
Managers are supposed to be where they're in
Or-
charge.
One person at a
Or
time.
do we actually care about passing policy, right? Passing policy that'll actually change what happens at the border, that'll actually change, who is or who isn't allowed here and how easily they're able to immigrate here,
Hey,
how
Sprout,
easily
that's
they're
not
able to
actually
immigrate
true.
here legally, right? That is the goal,
So-
right?
So then,
Sprout, that's
wouldn't
not
you think
actually-
that the
hold on,
person that's supposed to be in
Sprout,
charge of immigration needs to go and visit the border to see what the conditions are like?
I got it.
No, they
Sprout,
get
that's not
briefed on
actually
that
true,
shit. I don't
though.
give a fuck if they go there physically. That's
okay,
just a
so-
gesture. Gestures
think
mean
that-
nothing to me.
Manage
Alright,
their
too
own
many people
department.
talking again. Why do you keep doing this? Stop. Too many people talking. Too many people
I'll
talking.
moderate the panel.
Too many people talking. Too many people
there's a
talking.
fact check.
Yep.
CTV wants to fact check what I
DTV,
said.
go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Look, fact check, right? Sprout. Kamala Harris went to the border. Lauren Boebert, right, picked her up and carried her ass down there in a cutout, took a picture. So Kamala Harris was at the fucking border. Lauren Boebert, praise Jesus, she took her down there, right? So Kamala's been there, right?
I hate all
But she
that.
hasn't been to Europe
God
either,
bless.
right?
Mindwaves, just to piggyback, you know how you said like who cares if Kamala Harris hasn't been to the border? Conservatives like Ted Cruz, he went to Israel after the recent bombing with Hamas, and he went for a photo op. Meanwhile, he had to run away from his own state during a power outage. So like
Why are
like
we even talking about this?
like I don't know how we
Can I
got
get-
to this.
Yeah.
Can I
mean, with
respond to the
Lyme,
idea that I
was
wait?
going to the
Can I
border
respond to the
and-
China
Yeah.
thing
Trying
that
to
happened
do a
like
me too.
10 minutes ago?
You did it too.
Dylan Stardust.
Okay, so the thing is, this is just really interesting to me because if the argument is like, okay, how dare you do that? Even though it was done in a joking manner, even gonna lambast me for that because Sprouticus Snowflake angry at left-wing comedy for some reason, right? Gonna be one of the people boycotting people for offensive jokes now. I understand it. It melted you a little bit. It's summer, so the snowflakes are melting. But
Good.
Make it a
I
funny
was
joke.
the thing is, it's interesting that we can hold that because you know what that flag's done. Okay, we want to turn this around for a second. We know what this flag's done as well. We know how it's perpetuated slavery. We know how it interned Japanese people. We know how it has
What
been
it's
the
doing.
wait. Okay,
Doing's
what it's
different
doing?
than done.
Yemen. You want to talk about Yemen? We could talk about Yemen and the hundreds of thousands of children who starved to death under a blockade, which we backed. You want to talk about Yemen? We can do that. Oh, wait, that was your guy. Your guy perpetuated that. Now, I could talk about Joe Biden also continuing the blockade, but at least he stopped selling offensive arms sales of being used to literally tear children apart in Yemen. You want to talk about Yemen? How about the back end of LCC? LCC, a brutal dictator, you want to go through the
Saudis
whole
are
thing?
exactly
So
gonna
while
do
they're
The
not
war machine is
equivalent,
bipartisan, though. We know that, right?
Yeah.
oh, it's but yeah, but there was also
it not?
a distinct difference
about to
between
say,
Biden and Trump.
There's
And,
one-
about to finish what the
it doesn't-
neocons started in the
and it
2000s.
doesn't even matter at the end of the day because the argument was about flags. So I
Sure.
believe flags represent more than just the government. I believe it represents a people. I believe it represents a little bit more. So if I have these little things on there, who knows what it represents? Maybe I'm just saying, hey man, I'm friends with the Chinese people. Are cool, right? Who knows? It was just a little jokey joke. You don't need to get so offended at it, okay?
Happy birthday to the
Joke,
premier
just
of
make it
China.
Funny, right? So if you're gonna have a joke, make it funny, not about a country
funny.
that constantly terrorizes
That's
people,
subjective.
right?
That's
It was-
subjective. You
Nobody
can't
laughed.
you
I'm
can't
sorry.
judge people for
Nobody
telling a joke
laughed.
that
Nobody
you
laughed.
It was a
think is
joke
Nobody
on
bad.
this
laughed.
panel.
Whoa,
Nobody
whoa,
laughed.
Nobody
whoa,
laughed.
whoa.
Okay,
No one
okay,
laughed. Wow.
Laugh,
Just a
Dylan. I
second.
got you. I
Just a
got you.
second. If I can
Spartacus,
speak.
you're
Just
right.
a
People
second.
laugh at you a lot.
Just a second.
No, I'm talking.
Give
I'm
me just a
talking. Nobody else
second,
talking.
please,
Stardust. go.
please.
Stardust,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. just because you don't find the joke funny doesn't mean that it's not funny. I thought it was funny. Maybe I didn't laugh at it, but I still thought it was funny. Do you laugh at every joke somebody tells to you? I don't think so.
it's a good
No,
one.
I don't. I certainly don't. Are you fucking psycho? Only a psycho laughs
you
at every
need
joke
to-
that's told to them.
If it's a
Holy
good
shit.
one, yeah. And yeah,
I
I
thought it
think
was
it's
funny,
even
I do.
weirder to like,
You
no,
know
I
what?
will not laugh at this
From
joke. I won't do it. Like,
From
come on,
from
enjoy
now
life.
on,
Enjoy
I'm
it,
going to
enjoy
no
it.
longer politely laugh at anyone's jokes. I've been doing this for conservatives for a long time, and I'm now never gonna hold that back anymore. Where anytime a conservative tells me a joke, I'm like, haha, and I'll do that, but I'm never gonna do that again. Sprouticus, you've taken away
If we
that
know
freedom.
we got a genuine
No.
interaction
Usually
from
I
you.
just
Hold
smile
on,
at
hold
jokes.
on,
I usually
hold
don't
on.
laugh at them.
Hold on, we
so.
know we got a genuine reaction from Mr. Dylan Burns, right? That we show regularly over in the Wolf's Den, right? A genuine laugh, folks. If you go over there, we'll show it to you sometime. The genuine laugh of Dylan Burns, right?
Is it genuine? Can you truly know?
Oh yeah, it's completely genuine. There's no way you were faking that shit.
Who knew that somebody would be so upset over a joke they didn't find funny? Like, my God,
I mean,
dude.
are we
This is
supposed to,
great. This
are we
is
supposed to
funny.
be patriotic? And are we supposed to be? Stardust, are you patriotic in the CCP?
Yeah, I can be
Is it- I mean,
patriotic
is
to
that funny to
America,
watch?
and I
This
can
is
still make
ridiculous.
jokes about the
Is it-
CCP.
Is it funny? Is
funny.
it funny?
Can
Is
you-
it funny to be
who's the one
patriotic?
who's
Is it
talking
funny to
about,
be patriotic?
like,
to
deplatforming?
And
About
I asked
this
a
bread.
simple
It's funny.
Who are
question.
the people
I
who
asked
talk
kinda
about
funny.
deplatforming?
The
for
problem
jokes?
here-
At
the
most?
real
Isn't
problem
it the
here-
left that gets pissed off at jokes all the time?
Extremely
So.
simple.
You know,
And
the
it was
real problem
it
here-
doesn't
I mean,
require
you're
a
complaining
minute
about
monologue.
deplatforming.
All right,
You're
stop. Everyone
complaining
stop.
about
Right, everyone
getting
stop.
people
Everyone stop. Everyone,
jokes.
I'm serving mute everyone.
Shit.
I have to serve and mute the whole panel. Right, this is good.
Thank fucking
But
God.
now we're talking about whether a joke was funny. The topic is patriotism good? Yes or no? Right.
I
So,
said get to
Great. I
finish.
love this shit.
I didn't get to finish. I asked Stardust
Alright,
a simple question. It turned into a 10-minute monologue.
Starguest, Sprouticus, go.
Thank you. So since Stardust said that realistically, right? So celebrating the CCP shouldn't be a thing, because the CCP consistently terrorizes and does terrible tragedies against its own people. Doing, not done. Doing. Like I said, it's not about how you fall. It's about how you get back up and keep moving
US
forward.
doesn't do that.
China has consistently shown the failure to get back up and to keep moving forward, and that's not a country I'm
What?
gonna support.
What are you talking about? China really okay. 70 years ago, China was in the middle of a civil war. Its country was raped by the Japanese invaders, completely torn apart. Then it went to a civil war between the,
Wait, so they're
the
not Chinese anymore?
and Americans. I'm just gonna ignore them. Chinese and the Chinese and the Chinese nationalists and the Chinese communists fought a brutal civil war afterwards, and then they went through a Cold War and had the terrible policies of Mao Zedong, where they literally beat birds to death and shit. And right now, they're on the brink of becoming. Well, they already are one of the biggest world powers in the world, economically rebounded to
up their
huge extent.
economy into
For us to pretend, I don't care. For us to pretend like they haven't rebounded or they haven't had any successes or that they failed or something, they have become an economic and military powerhouse and they're on the global stage. There's a reason why America right now is increasing military operations South China Sea. There's a
You're right.
reason why Joe
right.
Biden and China, they have rebounded. So they can't
Dylan,
get back
Dylan,
up. They
Dylan,
certainly
Dylan,
have.
Dylan, you're right. You're right.
Thanks
We
to
should only
capitalism.
we should only be patriotic to countries that have an economic rebound or economically stable.
I didn't
or
say
have-
that,
or
but
have-
you said they
have
couldn't
great
get back
economics.
up. You just said something historically inaccurate.
No. I was talking about moral falls, and China's consistently stayed with their moral faults. Right? They haven't gotten back up. They haven't learned from it. And they consistently choose not to. And that's not a country I'm proud of. Not even in a joke. Just like I wouldn't find a joke
Oh my
about saying I'm KKK. I wouldn't find that funny. That's not funny.
I think
Did
that's
you just
hilarious.
equivocate
That's a
somebody
good
saying they're
example,
though.
Chinese?
That's a
to
really
the
good example,
KKK?
though,
Yeah,
right?
that's so
Wait,
funny.
let's
Oh
talk
my
about that for a
God.
second, right?
Alright,
Because
wait,
racism
One
is
sec, one
funny.
sec, one
Wait,
sec,
this is
everyone. One
systematic
sec,
oppression and
everyone.
racism, and
Wait,
it's
wait,
a
wait, 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 wait,
These
wait.
kind
Alright,
of jokes
alright,
does that not apply to
mute,
America all of a
mute,
sudden?
mute.
Wait.
I can't mute everyone fast enough.
I want to ask Spartacus. I want to ask him this. Okay,
Alright,
so
Mindwaves.
let's-
All right, you can ask the question, and then we've got Stardust who's been waiting for a while.
I mean, I got something like on point right now.
Well, I'm
No,
not
it
putting
doesn't
4
matter,
people in the
CT.
queue. Have a
Hold on.
conversation. Mindwaves.
So the thing is, let's talk about that, right? Okay, so you're talking about you wouldn't do that for the KKK. Well, the KKK still exists in America. Systemic racism still exists in America. Systematic
This
oppression
thing-
and inequality
You're
still
gonna
exists in America.
we can't the reality
Shut up. It's my turn to talk. It's my
The
turn to
reality
talk.
is
It's my
what
turn
we're
to
saying,
talk.
right?
It's my
The
turn to talk.
reality
Shut
of
the
what's-
fuck up.
The
Please shut
reality
the
was
fuck up. It's
you're
my
not gonna
turn to talk.
mischaracterize
Come on.
somebody and expect
Danabo,
me to
where
sit here
you
and not
at?
say fuck
Danabo,
all about it.
Both
Step
sides.
in. Where you at?
Carry on. Finish.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's talk about that.
You don't
Why
know
are
how to
you?
handle
wait,
it on your
why
own.
are
do
you?
you? I know because
Hey, hey, shut the fuck up! Come on, let me finish for 1 second.
He is trying to mischaracterize me.
Yeah, I bet you're really offended when I bring up. Look at how offended
Love
the
is in the
Republicans are when I bring up
air.
any criticism of America. Yet they pretend like they're down to criticize America.
This is a miss. This is Danabo. Danabo,
Wait.
can you?
I want
Danabo,
to finish my question to
can you hit
Spouticus.
him with the
Okay, so
steel
let's
chair
talk
because he's
about that.
mischaracterizing my argument completely.
Nice.
Cringe,
I'll think
Dylan.
about it. Right.
Cringe. You're better than that.
Can we? Right. Let's calm down a second. Right. You're all professionals.
Okay.
You're panel hosts
Okay,
and
so
you're professional guests. Calm it
This
down.
feels
Stop
like The
talking over
View.
each other.
It's like
Thank
the
you,
view.
Danabo. All right, so
fun.
Spouticus, tell me, why is it so bad to praise another country, even though they have done other things in their past, or currently are doing things that are atrocious or immoral, considering or to you? But when I bring up immoral actions of the United States, it doesn't matter to you. You can praise that. You can praise the United States. You can be patriotic, and you get to ignore all the shitty things that
Because of the caveat
America
at the end, or whether they are still.
The difference is between the moral faults. The difference is
unpatriotic?
the difference
Is it
is between the moral
unpatriotic?
faults
You're
of the
gonna ask
United
him a
States
question
of America
and not
and
shut
China
up,
is
respond.
indistinguishable
Let him respond.
from another.
Spartacus, respond. I didn't hear you.
The differences between the moral faults of the United States of America and China are indistinguishable from another. To argue that United States of America has just as much moral faults as China has, you obviously
say
haven't been paying attention to the world stage. And if you actually look at America's history, we've gotten back up, we've moved forward, we've continued to do that. China has failed to do that over and over and over and over again. Of course, I'm not talking economically, Dylan. I'm talking about moral faults.
Morally
right?
on
So-
some things too. They've made improvements morally and ethically. There's been a lot of improvements since the row of Mao Zedong. I mean, there should be a lot more, but there has been.
Yeah, but you have to agree that their improvements are minute in comparison to like they're not,
Is it
they're not making
unpatriotic? Is it
improvements in the
unpatriotic
same
to
regards
at least
that
acknowledge
America
that they
is.
have improved?
I mean,
right?
They're
yeah.
not allowing criticism of their government.
Look,
They're not
I'm
allowing
not,
free
I'm not,
speech.
I'm not saying it's equivalent. It's just really like
Right,
so.
I
It's
know.
the barrier. We're better than China morally, therefore we can say "Yay USA," but a Chinese person cannot say "Yay
No,
China."
no,
Is that the
it's
barrier?
that-
Is that the thing?
It's
is
like
that
it's
the goal we
cringe
have?
when anybody on this panel does it.
90% of the countries on the planet. That's what the difference
This
is.
is weird
That's where the
too,
line
because
is.
it's weird because like we're trying to say that Americans can be patriotic about America, but Chinese people they need to basically say, death
That's
to
not what
China.
anybody
Is that
said.
what
I
we're
said
doing
it's
now?
cringe when people on this
I
panel
wouldn't
do
say
it.
that.
Why would it be cringe for me to say,
Because it is 4th of July weekend.
I'm-
sir.
I'm
Where is
trying
your
very
question?
hard.
Can I
Very
answer
hard
Dylan real quick?
to-
Actually, so the thing is that it's become very apparent to me that at least a couple of the Republicans or the right wingers on this panel actually do define their
If you're
patriotism.
Republican, raise your hand.
They actually do define their
So not showing Phil. There's
patriotism.
your two Republicans.
Shut up, CTV. Can you ever not talk? Is it
I
possible
just was
for
helping you identify the people that you were
Okay,
calling out.
now-
That way you knew who you were talking to.
Thank you for your lovely insight, CTV. All right, now what I was
Trying to
going
help
to
you out,
say.
brother.
Now, what I was going to say is that it's become apparent to me that some of the right wingers on here actually do define their patriotism by opposition to other countries, by outsiders, by other people that they don't identify with, right? So whenever we bring up somebody like China and say, well, hey, maybe Chinese people are able to be patriotic, or maybe we should actually celebrate where China has improved or things that they do good for their people, right? Somehow that's
said
offensive.
doo-doo, by
and
the way.
Somehow that's offensive and unpatriotic to some of the people on here. Is that correct? Is it unpatriotic to recognize
Said it's
those
Chinese
things?
people.
Okay, wait. Everybody start. I'm talking. If I'm talking, I'm talking to moderate. I'm going to use my steel man chair at this point, and I'm going to hit Dylan with it. And I want Dylan to give his best faith argument on behalf of Sprout's position in response to Mind Waves.
That when it comes to America and China, the moral differences are very clear. That America is not engaged in things like what's going on in Xinjiang or anything that is China is doing domestically and possibly internationally at the moment. And so while it's not bad for a Chinese person to be proud of their country's history, for them to be proud of the current government in China would be disgusting considering the government's current conduct. Is that at all like somewhere close?
That's dead on.
Yep, that's good.
Yep.
All right. I think we came to agreement. On that note, I'm going to go into closing statements without Dr. Heemed.
Whatever.
Wait, you want to respond more?
Well, no, it's just
I wanted to
weird
know-
that like the ending statement was me just saying their position. Whatever. It's
Well,
okay.
we're going to go into closing, so you're going to get a chance to close. We're an hour in. We're an hour in. Right. So we're going to have 2 minutes to close. I'm going to give a couple of an extra minute or so to some of the people that didn't get to talk. So and remember, you're all panel hosts, so you're all professionals. You don't need to do this. Stop interrupting every 5 minutes. You don't have to talk over each other. We're going to kick off in the same order. We're going to go with Mr. Phil Coe. Closing statement on this topic, please, Phil.
Thank you. You know, we've all come together. We've all learned. We've all groaned. We laughed. We cried. Yes, we have come together on an interesting topic of patriotism. And I think we might have gotten at least a little bit closer to an understanding on this. I think the left might understand, the leftists on this panel might understand the rightists a little better, and vice versa. But this has been quite the talk. But like I said at the beginning, folks, love of your own country, as Oxford Dictionary defines it, there's nothing wrong with that. God bless it. And I hope every last one of you fucking beautiful people out there has a glorious, beautiful, and patriotic 4th of July. And one last thing to say, you should definitely go check out Shell Shock CBD gummies right after you subscribe to KOE Nation on YouTube and Twitch. And with that, I yield.
Dr. Heems, please.
Okay, so this was obviously a hilarious first segment. Congratulations, Danabo. You fucking baited everybody, you motherfucker.
I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, okay. It was an accident. It's like when you're at the vending machine and you get two things.
Yeah,
but you
basically,
actually
yeah.
you nudge the vending machine a little bit. But okay. But for on the reels though, I as someone who's like an immigrant to a pretty fucking awesome country, I have this like that's going through this like indigenous unmarked grave situation this last like month. It's really weird for me. I've been put in like both camps. On one side, I'm fucking unbelievably grateful for the opportunity to live in this country, and it's changed my life and my family's life in such a way that you wouldn't believe. And I'm super fucking grateful for that. On the other hand, there are so many horrific things that this country was built upon. And I think that it's important that we recognize and don't celebrate too much. Personally, for me, we had Canada Day yesterday. And I didn't celebrate or do anything crazy. I tried to educate myself on the indigenous situation. And I think that that is part of being a patriot, is like being able to recognize that your country has flaws, but also some pretty awesome things. Bolster and praise the good things, and be open to criticizing the shitty negative parts of its history or its present, whatever the case may be. To be like to pledge your undying fucking, like, to never look at the negatives of your country. I think that's like stupid. I don't think that's a wise way to be a patriot. I think it's a grave mistake. And then finally, lastly, just about the pledging allegiance in the schools. Like, so I was born Muslim, but I'm not practicing. My parents weren't practicing, and they sent me to a Catholic school just because it was like a good school and whatnot. And even at the Catholic school, they never made us go to mass or do anything like this. That we were never forced to do these things. As someone who wasn't practicing, I was allowed to opt out of all of these things. So I think that, like, if we're gonna condemn having kind of religion taught, or whatever, in public schooling, the Pledge of Allegiance should probably also be optional as well. And there you go.
Well, thank you very much, Heems. CTV, please.
Well, I hope it's obvious to everyone at this point that clearly Mindwaves and his not being here for a while has made him kind of soft as far as getting in a debate. And Dylan, of course, feeling threatened, right, and then having to try to swing out there a little bit and interrupt while then complaining about interrupting, right? Right. So, like, there's that. So clearly the left, right, is back on its heels here at the end of this one, because they knew, like, as soon as Dylan started singing the Chinese national anthem, that it was going to get some pushback, right? So, and then, like, there was at one point where Dr. HeemedOut, suspect Canadian, right, was a little bit more rude than I would have expected. But he's still learning. He's still immigrating into the Canadian way.
Wait, are you doing a play-by-play of the?
No
Oh, I'm
interrupting.
sorry.
No
I'm
interrupting.
sorry. I don't know what this
Director's
is.
cut.
Look, and then the interruptions continue even during
Even
the
during the
closing
closing.
statement, right? The left has completed the whole arc tonight, right? And with that, right, patriotism good. Just make sure that the people that are showing that patriotism are as free as possible while also living in a polite society, and that we don't have too many laws on the books that restrict the freedom of the people, especially with regard to civil liberties and at the individual level. So that said, great first round. I'm drinking the
Moonshine?
the salty watermelon whiskey by Old Smoky, and let me tell you, folks, there's something to
Nice.
shill for.
A little
Yeah.
offended.
So-
I'm a little
yeah, yeah.
offended. You just completely left me out of that whole thing, huh?
Wow.
I just what am I, chopped liver?
Well, you're a
Uh,
clown.
I think the reality of that, since I mean, reality is that you were just so nice and sweet during that conversation that it didn't warrant the
Nope,
being
you're
thrown in with
Uh-huh.
the
Oh,
you're
okay,
with-
okay. So
anti-clown,
you're
you
not
bigot.
taking me
Just accept it,
seriously.
okay?
I see
Right.
the way
Closing
it is.
statements. Closing
Okay.
statements. Closing statements. Dylan Burns, please.
So I guess now
Wait,
no,
no,
we just completed the whole arc with Nacho interrupted. Now the whole left right
Oh,
now has been
okay.
interrupted.
Yeah, he is the real. Yeah. He's the one
Yeah,
true lefty.
baby.
Dylan Burns, please.
Number one, I didn't sing the Chinese national anthem. I sung the Happy Birthday song. I don't think those two things are at all comparable. And I would ask CTV to please identify the Chinese national anthem for me in the future through amazing vocal cord or repeating it, because I don't think he knows what that is. Secondary, you interrupted me, and so I just decided, you know what? If everybody, I was interrupted like 3 or 4 times, so I said, okay, I'm just gonna talk to my own community and say it to them then. Okay, you are the person who's fantasized about my penis. Okay, if you want to hit on me, just be more direct with it. I'm a blunt man. Okay, here's what you need to do. Okay, I am somebody who really likes.
Thanks for letting me know that the
Jama-
offer would be
Hey,
accepted to begin
interrupted.
with.
Shut
Come on.
up. If taken out,
I'm
okay,
taking notes
I
here.
would like Jamaican jerk chicken. I like Jamaican jerk chicken, specifically Jamaican jerk chicken wings. You take me out there first, okay? You take me out there first. Of course, you'll be paying because I'm the pretty one. And so if you want to go further about fantasies about my penis, you're gonna have to do that first. Besides that, generally, I just said a funny meme and everybody got angry. Everybody got angry because right now they're just super like hyped up on America Day. And you know what? It's not even America Day. It's just the days around America Day, and just doing anything, even seeing a flag of a foreign country is enough to spur people into action.
I
It
figure
was-
Pride gets a whole
it
month.
was, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
It's America Day Eve.
Dylan,
Danabo.
go.
Danabo,
You
man.
finished.
Danabo.
Can I just say
Danabo,
real
man.
quick? When CTV and Dylan Burns inevitably have the falling out, I'll host the reunion, okay? Let me be the mediator between you guys when it happens.
I'm not mediating. Dylan, continue.
I'll do it. I understand both sides.
Oh, this is glorious.
Ultimately, it just feels like it's summer, the snowflakes are melting. That's what it feels like right now.
True. Right, Nacho. In the middle of a drink.
Yeah, so I think there's a little bit of truth to what CTV said in the sense that I think there is a lot of, I think Mindwaves nailed it on the head earlier when he was talking about the rhetoric on the left currently as far as like patriotism. There are a lot of people who currently conflate like nationalism or like white nationalism like with patriotism, right? So a lot of the people on the left who are being critical of the country, and I think are still patriots to some degree. Like I have come across people like Dylan and others who are patriots in the sense that they want the best outcome for the country, right? We have different versions of how we're going to get there, right? And that's where, that's why I'm more like center right. Like I would like to facilitate these kinds of discussions and have, I hope that the Republican Party can find its more like traditional Republican Party roots, and that we can get back to like working together and come back to that sort of like liberal consensus, right? Where we understand that the goals of like government are to promote like infrastructure and equality under the law, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of people on the left who just straight out are ready to just damn everything about America because they don't want to even be in the same universe as those who are like Mindwaves and other people have pointed out, basically abusing patriotism and misusing it in the wrong sense. So I don't know. Yeah, that's there. I sit on the fence, right? So that's what I have to say about it. I still think America's based. I think we're the best country on the planet, and I think we should keep working at a better future and a better government, better policies for the future.
Thank you, Scott Destiny. Stardust, please.
Yeah, I just gotta say, I am super surprised at the amount of sensitivity here. The rest of this, like patriotism, seems to be something we're just gonna disagree on. I think you guys know my position. I think that you can be patriotic and still criticize your country. But the thing that really just surprised me is that there are off limit jokes. Like what? Like I for one think it's hilarious when people threaten me and like use KKK jokes. I think it's hilarious. Just like I think China jokes are funny. I don't I This is a new type of right that I'm seeing now where we're sensitive to jokes where we don't like certain jokes. I don't know what happened.
They don't like clowns. Thank you very much, Stardust. Sprouticus, Starguest.
The conservatives aren't allowed to have a sense of humor anymore. We have to find every joke funny, and if we don't find that joke funny, then we're just obviously wrong because we said that joke should be outlawed. At no point did I say that Dylan should be banned or kicked off the panel because he made a joke about the CCP. Although he started off saying it was a joke, then it became a little bit more real the longer and longer it went on. He decided to start actually like praising what China was doing and trying to bring up points to make his jokes seem relevant. And I didn't find it funny, just like I don't find KKK jokes funny. And I'm allowed to have a sense of humor. I can find funny what I want to find funny, and what I don't find funny, I could just turn the channel, right? And that's what I always suggest the people on the left start doing, is just turn the channel if you don't find it funny. With that being said, I think patriotism is a great thing. Patriotism in America is a great thing. I think it depends on what country you're from and what you're being patriotic of. Right? So if you're from the CCP and you're being patriotic of the government, I think it's absolutely disgusting. But if you're being patriotic of the United States and what we've been through and what we've came through and who we are today, then I think it's absolutely amazing. I think there's a huge difference between those two that Dylan obviously can't seem to grasp as he's crying down the right corner. So yeah, I'll yield there.
Thank you very much, Sprout. And once again, Mind Waves with the closing.
Yeah, I just think it's really funny that patriotism's only okay when it's applied to the United States and not any other country. I guess maybe particularly China. I don't know why. Particularly China. I would it be okay to be patriotic to Britain, to the UK? Would it be okay to be? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, thank you.
I've sang "God Save the Queen"
got
a couple
food.
of times.
All
I'm not
right,
gonna lie. Had a British girl over there. Woo-hoo-hoo, God Save the Queen, right?
No, but I want to say that I think it's really disappointing that none of the lefties really got to define what patriotism means to them. Once again, the lefts kind of fell short because we were too busy caught up in what the right thinks of patriotism, right? We never got to talk about how I don't know, maybe for my instance, patriotism means participating in democracy, right? Being able to make sure that your country takes steps forwards to better itself, loving the people that are in your country and not excluding any group of people from that love, right? I think that's very patriotic. I think it's very patriotic to Oh, thank you, Dr. Pepper. I think it's also very patriotic to, be proud of the progress that we have had in the United States, right? A lot of people on the right brought up, oh, well, we freed the slaves. Yeah, I think we should be proud of that. I think that, we should also look at the fact that we did have slaves and be ashamed of that. But I think that we should also be proud that, yeah, we take steps as a nation to realize that that's wrong, take steps forward. And I think it's also good to acknowledge where we've come short, right? I think it's also good to be patriotic in the sense that, recognize that freeing the slaves isn't always, that's not the end all be all of solving racism or systematic oppression in the United States as well, right? But whenever I bring that up, it seems like the right always gets really offended and thinks that that's not patriotic. I don't really know why.
Right, because you listen to the conversation.
Yeah, that's okay, CTV. Your closing statement was very good. Let me have mine. All right. So
well,
yeah.
you interrupted mine, so
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're allowed to
sure.
interrupt now, Danabo. Can I just talk now? Is that okay? Right?
Yeah,
It's allowed. It's okay. I mean, it sounds like you're not stopping me. I just keep you talking. I'm not doing anything, so we're allowed, right? Okay,
I hate you all. I hate you all. I hate you
All
all.
right, you shitter. All right. So I think it's very important to not only talk about what patriotism is, but also what it's not, right? And patriotism is not obeying all the laws in your country, right? Patriotism is not thinking that your country is superior to others or getting offended at the existence or jokes of other countries, right? I don't know why the CCP even being brought up or even anything like that is somehow unpatriotic. I don't know, that's really weird to me. I think that goes to show that the right does view patriotism as opposition to something else or another group of people or another country, and I think that's a shame. I think we really need to fight to fix that on the left. So yeah,
You don't know how praising the CCP is unpatriotic.
That's the end. That's the end of the first
It's a
topic.
joke?
Thank you very much, everybody, for participating. Remember, you're all here because you agreed. I don't know why you're here. Thank you very much, everyone. We're gonna have a 5-minute intermission. Everyone, go pee, get a drink, do what you need to do. We'll be back at what time is it now? It is 18. We'll be back at say 23 minutes past. About 5 minutes. Go and chill out, calm down, come back. And remember, people in the audience, these are trained professionals. Do not try this at home. Nobody was harmed in the interruptions of the closing statements. Right, break.
Say this.
Go on.
Now, this is not financial advice, but supposedly, I think it might be a good idea for every American to take out another mortgage on their home and invest it all into Dogecoin. I think it's gonna really take off. And that is Danabo told me this. Danabo said that I should say this.
That arrow,
Danabo knows
pointing. That arrow's pointing in the right direction.
Thank you
Keep
for
that
that
Dogecoin
disclaimer.
and then sub to Danabo, okay?
Don't
But
sub
yeah,
to me.
just to wrap up that conversation real briefly, I think that fuck, I had something really
Right,
succinct.
Mind
that I was
Waves will
gonna say.
remember after the panel, and you can discuss it after on your own
Sorry,
time.
no,
Right,
yeah,
thank
I'll
you very
hang
much.
around after.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming back on time. Thank you all for being here. Right. So, if anybody doesn't know how Until Further Notice works, we have one serious topic, one fun topic, then one serious topic. So it's time for the fun time bonus topic. There are no opening statements on this one. You just jump in when you want. I hope this goes well. All right. So
Can I jump in now?
the secret bonus fun time topic is: what is your most disgusting or worst habit? I will start off and say I bite my fingernails, and I think that's terrible. It's disgusting, and I shouldn't do it.
Disgusting or
Right.
worst habit?
Yep,
Talk to conservatives. I'm kidding.
I knew it would go.
Dog.
I'm kidding.
All right,
I don't know.
I actually got to give you 2 gold stars on that one, Dylan. That's pretty good.
Honestly, can I just be real? My most disgusting habit is probably fucking Danabo's mom. Got him.
Get wrecked, nerd.
Why is that disgusting? That's not very nice.
Right,
My
no,
worst.
Yeah.
The fuck?
I'm sure she's a lovely woman worthy of a good pounding, okay?
I don't.
Like, what the fuck, Mindwave?
Disrespectful. What the fuck?
Like my personal worst habit, to be honest, is only giving all of you beautiful people like 40% of the energy that is Phil KOE. Like I feel like I can't turn it up to 11 because it might be too bright. It'll be like the sun, and you have to wear a welder's mask or some sort of safety equipment.
Is it that
So I
though,
do
or is it
apologize.
the fact that you haven't finished that bottle yet?
Oh, well, this is the Dalmore Luceo single malt Scotch whiskey. It is to be sipped and enjoyed. It'd be a sin.
Suck
to
it, you
just knock
fucking
it back.
pussy.
Oh, it'd be a sin to just knock it back.
What do you think
That-
about
that-
eating on stream? Is that disgusting? Do you think that's a disgusting habit? Do you think
I do
streamers
that a
should
lot.
eat on stream? I don't.
Yeah, there's a
do
reason
it with
why
my
in
mouth open if you
Hollywood
want.
you'll never like. It's the funniest thing. In like 95% of Hollywood movies, you will never see somebody actually eating. They'll be bringing the fork to their face. It'll cut back. The fork's moving. They're like but you never see them actually eating in Hollywood.
You know who actually did eat a lot? Rest in peace, Gandolfini. Tony Soprano. He would always be fucking slobbering down on food.
Well, I
and
said
it's so
about 95.
noticeable.
There's always exceptions, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood, because the
say-
food can slip off the fork. It makes it
Yeah.
unpredictable in filming.
Dan, but while you're on the eating thing, one thing that sucks for me now that I have a beard this big, I literally sometimes have to like hold my beard back to take bites.
Yeah.
And like 99% of bites I take get like some beard in the mouth, and that's pretty gross.
I'm guessing
My-
Dylan does that with his
my
hair
worst-
too, right?
My worst
Yeah,
habit, I guess, is going to work, because it seems to be that like all these Twitch streamers that don't have a job, like they do so much better than Twitch streamers that have a job and actually have to go to their job like 8 to 5. So I mean, I guess that's one of my worst habits, is actually going to
Yikes.
work.
This is secret bonus fun time, not dunk on each other, right? It's supposed
No,
to be.
Just all I just heard right then, Sprout, was you complaining about how you're not popular enough to be able to do it on like all day. That's all.
Oh.
No, I just have a job. I have a job. I have a job I have to maintain. So
Yeah, you're too
Look,
busy
I
making
didn't
less
say
money than me.
All
But yeah, now, like me, I'm a farmer.
You gotta be
One of my
careful
honest,
how you word that shit, man. You got
Well, I don't
What am I
expect-
honest
I
to
don't,
God-
I don't,
yeah, I was
I
about
don't
to say.
expect to make a living off a left platform. I never expected that.
Who
I never
cares what
expected
You
way
gotta
the
be
platform
funnier, right?
leans?
Hold
No,
on,
no, no. All right,
hold on.
all right. You got. I'm gonna
just
turn
had
this
5
car
gifted
right
subs. I'll be
around
back
if
in
you
just a
all don't
minute. Hold
start
on.
getting along.
Oh,
But
what
one of
happened?
my honest to God, I'm a farmer. One of my honest to God, like this is kind of dirty, but like I'm outside all day, so like to me, it's like I would much rather piss outside than in like that. That's just me. I'm probably gonna answer the call of the wild outside rather than inside. I'm a farmer who does like a little breeze, and so yeah,
That's
if you
just
want an
dude
honest
shit,
to God,
though.
yeah, but like that's.
guy thing though. Is that just a guy thing that we'd rather take a piss outside than go inside and take a piss?
Yeah, I mean, like if it's nighttime and I take the dogs out to
Thank
like
God
use
I'm
the
normal.
bathroom,
Okay.
yeah, I'm peeing
What
outside,
topic
dude.
is
Just
this?
just to like mark my territory, man. I
Right,
have to.
Stardust missed the topic. It's your most disgusting or your worst habit.
My wife says it's flicking boogers on the dogs. Yeah, I like.
What the?
I don't eat boogers, but I like to feed my boogers to the dogs because I think it's pretty fucking funny.
I regret this topic.
What's wrong with that, dude?
Well,
We're
we knew-
sharing immune
yeah,
systems.
We knew boogers were coming into it eventually when you're talking about gross
Look,
habits.
I give my boogers to the dogs. They gain my immunity. They lick me in the face. I gain their immunity. This is a mutual relationship, right?
Which
Look,
politics was a
Nacho, the
mistake?
person in the room with
Wait.
you is just kind of looking at you with like
Wait,
a
I see
worried
TV in
look of
twice.
disgust.
Nacho, can I ask you a quick question? Does the
Sure.
dog come into the bed? Sounds like because like some people are like exclusively no dog in the bed. I find that disgusting alone.
No, not in the bed, but on the couch. Yeah, sure. We fucking like chill on the couch.
Yeah,
all
on the
time.
couch is fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
dude.
here.
No,
My
not in the
dog
bed,
will
though.
not touch my bed, but he goes everywhere else. My dog goes with me everywhere I go on the farm, everywhere. It's a little Chihuahua, so he had to adapt. But he's the world's smallest farm dog.
Yeah,
I'm
our
so
dogs are
scarred
too
by
big
allowing
anyways, man.
having dogs on the bed.
Speaking of having pets on your bed, Stardust
even-
has got the Chaos Cast tomorrow, which is this very topic. Whether
Yeah, yeah. You think if you think your pet is your child, and you let that pet kiss you on the mouth, that's disgusting.
That's
And it's
disgusting.
crossing a boundary. You shouldn't be making out with your children. Disgusting.
I don't believe
I
in the
don't
death
do, like,
penalty,
the
but if
licking
there's
my
one
mouth
group of
shit.
people.
But if they lick my face,
There's those
sometimes I'm like,
people.
okay.
Yeah, my dog.
You're
licked my
letting your
face.
child kiss you on the mouth? Would you let your human child kiss you on the mouth if they walked up to you and started putting their tongue in your mouth? I don't think so.
A lot of people do that without tongue though, which I find not my thing, but some people
Yeah,
do
like
that
when they're
too,
little
right?
babies, yeah. But like
Up
once they
until
start
like
getting
up
like,
until like later, even too 6 years old
Oh,
shits. I
no,
don't know.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
I feel like
has,
6 years
Tom
old is
Brady
still
has
pretty
like
fucking young.
14 or 15-year-old
Yeah,
boy
shit's
kiss
kinda
him
cringe,
on the
I'm
lips.
just saying.
That is
On the
so
lips?
gross.
The fuck
Kisses
did I
him on
come
the
back
lips
to?
or-
Also, you don't know what your dog or cat has been licking before. They could have been licking their butt,
Yep.
and they just licked
Don't
they're
you on
be
the
a
mouth.
kid, you don't know.
they're usually licking their butts.
Danabo, you said that your nasty habit was biting your fingernails.
yeah, they're all gone.
Dude,
Sorry,
do you,
it's
Do you- wait,
horrible.
wait.
and I don't
Wait,
know why I
wait,
do
wait.
it.
So,
do you ever,
Oh,
do
I
you ever
pull
do
my
that?
skin off.
Do you ever
Dylan,
do
My
that?
thing is, I
Wait,
pull
let me
my
be
skin
clear.
off. My skin off.
If-
Dylan
if
has
we-
something I want to hear.
Okay, so Stardust. If the standard is like if they lick butt, then don't kiss them. Then like I'm sorry, but like stay away from my lips because I eat a lot of
No,
ass.
okay.
I'm sorry.
The difference is okay. The difference is because it's your children, and you are now not just kissing your kid on the mouth, you're kissing their butt too. Okay, you're literally ingesting their butt germs into your mouth. That's a little bit
What are
weird.
we talking about?
Some people's weekend.
disgusting
the thing that
habits,
made me-
Okay,
CTV.
like don't
Listen,
like that's.
all I'm saying is this is definitely going to be in the beginning promos of all our YouTube videos.
Probably.
The thing
Now,
that, the thing that made me
you
want to
were
not
saying
bite
there
my
was
nails
one
anymore.
group that you would make an exception for the death penalty. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear.
Oh yeah, people who let dogs kiss them on the mouth.
Oh. Well,
That's your child.
I let my
Your
pupper
child's butt
lick me on
germs
the
are in
nose.
your mouth now.
Like, yeah,
How do you
so-
feel about that?
I love my pupper.
Yeah, are you okay with your pupper's butt germs in your mouth?
If you own
You
a
could have been
dog,
licking
you
his
just
ding
deal
dong.
with a level of
He's-
grossness.
You know that's how they
But
go
no,
in
no,
cough,
I'm
they
not one of those
they
people
lick
that my
their ding
dog is
dong.
my. I don't believe.
Speaking
my dog's
about
my
butt
child.
germs in your
It's a
mouth,
dog.
one of the things that made me want to stop biting my nails was
after sex, I would find myself biting
No.
my nails, and I'd be like, I don't know if I want those fingers in my mouth after all of that.
No.
Start chewing your nails like, woo! She's
I
a
was
little
like,
more
no,
right
I
than
don't
I
think so.
remember.
I gotta cut that habit.
Wash your hands, bros.
Dude, look,
No,
sometimes you just lay in there and you're like, I don't want to go
Another-
nowhere, bro. Like, come
Oh
on.
no,
So-
dude, you're gonna get your child's
It's the,
butt
so the
and
biggest-
dick germs
so-
in your mouth.
The biggest
my
surprise of
dog is
COVID
not
to
my
me-
child. It is my dog. My child is my
Wash
child.
your hands, people. Wash your hands.
The biggest surprise of COVID to me was how people didn't wash their hands on like the regular. Like they would just like evidently go out of the bathroom and just decide they didn't need to wash their hands.
That's so gross. Yeah.
Oh Lord, the way I
People were
got
talking
through-
about chewing their nails, by the way.
Ew.
I think my habit is like literally pulling my skin off when I'm nervous. Like I'll just
Ooh.
pull the skin off. Yeah. of my-
Okay.
Oh, like
Yeah.
biting the skin like right next to your nail. You ever do that?
I don't bite it. I just pull it off. 'Cause
Oh
I'm
my
nervous.
God.
Wow.
There's this
Yeah.
thing that people.
Anybody else noticing? Look, if you train your dog
Thank
to
you,
kiss you in the
puppy.
mouth, it will. Notice how my dog is not doing that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
So-
but,
I was scared. You scared me for a
was
minute,
about to
but I'm
say,
glad you didn't do
Stardust-
it. Oh my
that-
god! I
that
think
sounds like
your
a habit that
dog's
meth
in the
heads have.
background. Your dog's in the
Alright.
background. CTV.
It's a puppy. That's a big pupper. But yeah, dog people, when they get to like, I did not want a dog initially, but my daughter was like, "Daddy, can we please get a Chihuahua?" I was like, "Oh, really?" And
Let's
yeah,
do
I
it like they do on the
Wait,
Discovery
that's not a
Channel.
dog.
I didn't want it at first, but the little shit's
That's
grown
not
on
a
me, and
dog.
now he goes with me everywhere. So that's just the way that goes.
If you're gonna get a dog, you might as well get a dog. Not
I mean,
It was-
small dog people are just lying to themselves. Like you have a rat. You don't have a dog. You have a giant city rat.
It's a
Wait,
furry house alarm. It'll bark when anybody even
Yeah.
steps onto my property. So that's it.
That
So I
too.
can sleep
Yeah,
like as dead to the world as possible.
Wait,
My
do you
dog-
guys let
I-
your dogs
my-
on the bed when you're having sex, or is that
No.
off limits?
No, the dog never
Do you
touches
have to
me.
kick the bed?
No,
do
dude.
you have to kick them off the bed? Is that like
Let's
a
No,
just say
no.
look.
You let
My
your
dog
pets see you
knows not to
naked?
even touch it.
Let's just say that I
Okay.
give my best work in front of an audience. Okay.
I will say that
No, like I have
Yes.
a no dog on the bed policy when I'm hooking up. I had one bad experience where I was with this girl and she let her dog be on the bed and I couldn't kick it off the bed. Like she wouldn't let me, and I ended up pulling out and coming past
What
her
you
and onto
talking
the
about?
dog. It was terrible.
Oh.
So there's a no dog policy from now on. That is not happening ever.
Hey, I
Is
don't
this
know how
allowed on
people do
Twitch?
that. I can't even be naked in front
It's
of animals, man.
Mind
Like-
waves can't perform in front of an
Oh,
audience.
we know what
for sure.
fucking Mindwave's most disgusting habit is: pulling out and fucking jizzing on the dog. Apparently.
I was about to
Oh my
say, you should have
God.
just opened with that.
Holy
The
shit,
whole
dude!
segment would have been like,
My
Well,
way
look,
was like,
mine
Do
was-
you guys let your
I come on
pets
other
see you
people's dogs.
naked?
you win the internet for the
Yes.
day,
Yeah, why
Mind
not?
Waves. You have
Just
won
let-
the internet.
Put the fucking dog up on the bed. Here you go.
So my dog is in my room. Why wouldn't I get out of the shower and get dressed? Like, why does it matter if the dog sees me naked?
The dog's naked.
Well, I don't know. So one
Because
time
the
there was
dog is a
one time I had
CCP robot.
Okay, so one time when I was younger, my cat was in my room. I didn't even realize he was in my room. And that was like the first time I'd ever been naked in front of an animal. And I took my clothes off and I turned around and I saw my cat there. And I swear to God, that dude looked scared for his life. Like he just saw me take off my skin. The dude was fucking terrified. I felt so guilty. I couldn't get naked in front of him after that. It was horrible. So
Right.
You know,
Nice.
Stardust, that is silly, but let's be frank, it's tough to follow the Mind Wave story after that. Like,
oh yeah,
so,
no,
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
have a
that's
story
a-
like that of
Oh,
jizzing on a
fuck.
dog.
and folks, this is the high-minded content that you come to the Dana
sorry, guys, I'm
stream
so sorry.
for. No, Mind Waves, like that
You and
those are
Shane
the kind of
Dawson could
stories
do
that
a
get
collab,
told
you
over a
know?
poker table. So
You
that's
came
like
to
the-
watch
Danival.
professionals, and you got professionalism. Okay.
yes,
This
that's
is what
I
you
Did
say.
this segment go how you wanted it to, Danabo?
I'm starting to think I should have done favorite toy instead. That was the second choice.
I was ready for that
Favorite
one.
what? Favorite what?
Favorite toy.
Favorite toy growing up, or the toy
Well,
that you
well,
couldn't get that you really,
Yeah,
really
listen,
wanted.
Mindwaves might have told the same story in the segment too.
Mind Waves says, well, okay, one time, so then I pulled out. We're talking about our favorite toy. What the fuck? Like, I just really
Yeah, we
wanted to tell
probably
the story.
found a way to get there, anyways.
God damn. Well, I was totally ready for that one. When I was born, my family from Kansas got me this little
Aw.
stuffed dog.
And then just on that one.
And then after 3, no, stay away. You keep your debauchery away from this Mind Waves. But yeah, then after my daughter was born, I let her play with this. So yeah, definitely don't you rapscallion ne'er-do-well, you. So yeah, I was totally ready for that one. Had a cute, adorable story, but no, not after dog jizz story. No. We're just we will
This
move
is the
along.
best panel ever. This is the best panel ever.
All right.
Holy fuck.
This
I
is
think-
the dream team.
I
Right
think
here,
the palette has
This
been
is the team that's
cleansed.
gonna win the Olympics for the U.S. Okay.
And
Pretty
Canada.
much.
Wait, no, actually, there's one more thing
You got-
left to
I
be
got them.
said, right?
Oh, your favorite toy growing up
Oh no.
as well.
I didn't even answer the last question.
Oh, go on
right?
then.
Favorite toy growing up?
Let's rock
Yeah, so the most obvious answer for this topic, right, especially considering it is the hidden bonus topic, right, is motherfucking Lego Batman. Like, how was that not the motherfucking best fucking Lego movie fucking ever, right? It's the best Batman movie. Let's be real, right? Like,
I mean-
there's nothing that comes
The
anywhere
original
close
Lego
to it.
movie is really good though.
Yeah, like
Yes,
Lego
yes, going
Batman.
back.
I don't know how you guys overlook that, right? I mean, oh, I know why. Because Mind Waves decided to go motherfucking not only land on the sun, but his whole fucking ship burned up in the atmosphere of what is TOS, right? Forced me to deafen my fucking stream, correct it so that the Twitch mods know that, like, hey, you can't fucking be saying that shit. But you know what? We're all fucking here for this shit, ain't we? So Lego Batman, right, is the motherfucking best Batman movie, period, hands down.
Wait, but you didn't answer the other question. That wasn't the question though.
Wait, Stardust.
That
If
was
you
the
want,
question.
Batman
wait,
is his
wait.
dirty habit.
You said
his guilty
you said
Stardust,
you
Stardust.
didn't answer the first question. The first question was
Wait.
what's your
Stardust,
disgusting
if you
habits,
want a
right?
topic for your next Chaos Cast, Lego Batman, invite CTV. What's your most disgusting habit, CTV?
My most disgusting habit probably is coming on lefty panels.
Okay, true.
Find it, like not only like enjoyable to use the same rules that they would, try to set and then break right against them and show the hypocrisy that they commit, but to also make much better jokes than they make, because frankly, they all need senses of humor, and they're not. They're not funny. They're just not
This
funny.
is so
Come
weird.
on.
So for 30 minutes in the last topic, people complain about how my joke is not funny, and for this topic, you just steal my joke from 30 minutes ago. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Damn.
You said Lego Batman 30 minutes ago.
We got a Bill Hicks, Dennis Leary call.
Oh,
out
that's
here,
right. You
folks.
didn't say Lego Batman 30
No, it
minutes
was a
ago.
Lego
That's
Batman.
because
It was a
it's
joke. It was
dudes
the
from
right
left.
winger. I said my most disgusting habit is talking to right wingers, and so 30 minutes
Oh,
later,
nice.
your most disgusting
Wow.
habit is going on lefty panel. Just stealing jokes from 30 minutes ago. Okay.
How did you
Mm.
get to steal truth?
I did give Dylan 2
Oh!
stars for that joke. I gotta be
Oh!
honest.
See,
That's
Dylan and
right.
Mind
Not a
Waves
joke,
both
but
eat,
it's the
they
truth.
both eat on stream. Like, let's just point this out. Dylan and Mind Waves.
Is that disgusting?
Oh, so you're complaining about
Isn't
pizza
it,
tactics
isn't it weird?
now.
Okay,
I
Sprout-
fucking eat on streams all the time, okay?
So does Nacho.
I get
I'm
fucking
gonna drink
hungry
on
and I
stream,
just
though.
can't
I'm
eat.
feeling very left out here. I feel like I'm trying to keep up and be as aggressive as everybody else, and I just keep getting ignored.
You
Thanks,
can't-
guys.
yeah.
You frick you too, and you can go eat my entire ass.
You camouflage yourself and we can't tell, you're just
Right.
blending in with the background there.
Not
Wow.
half of it, not 3/4 of it, definitely not 1/4 of
All
it.
3 inches.
Oh, the entire
Hell
ass.
yeah.
Okay, all right, yes. This,
Just
folks, is the content you
Just
come
don't
to
bite your
Dan
nails
about.
after you've done it. That's
Answer the second question. I didn't have a favorite toy because there's 8 kids in my family. We were poor as shit growing up. So,
So
any
what was the toy that
fucking
you
good for
wanted?
me.
What was the toy that you always really wanted but couldn't get?
Oh, well, I mean, all of them. Anything that I saw my fucking friends with, like Bionicles. I remember Bionicles for a long
Hell
ass time. I
yeah.
wanted those ones, dude.
Let me show you
I'm
the
not gonna
truth
lie.
of this guy. Dannable.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had any fucking toys. Actually, okay,
No cast
true.
on that.
The Toys R Us RC car, I wanted that shit. I
True.
really wanted that shit, but I never had that.
Is he
No,
got-
the
was it.
12-inch GI Joes with like the fucking like Humvees and like shit like that. I was all about that when I was a little kid, dude.
Why
Fuck
am I
yeah.
not
Hell
surprised
yeah,
that
dude.
you wanted a 12-inch GI Joe?
What
just
did you want to
played
do
it-
with
oh,
the
God.
toy?
You already know.
Oh,
Okay,
We just
my
played with
my
fucking,
favorite
like,
toy.
whatever we could get our hands on. Sticks. We dug
Yeah,
holes in the
my-
ground and fucking
My
put
favorite
yellow
sticks and
jackets in
dirt.
it.
My favorite toy growing up was an actual metal, right, Optimus Prime, right, from Generation 1. That was mine. Right.
Now, what for me, when it came to toys that I always wanted but could never have, there was this weird juxtaposition from my childhood to adulthood where it's like when I was a kid, I'd walk through the Lego aisle of the toy store and look at all the Lego models that I couldn't afford. And then it was like, damn, when you see how they're priced, you're an adult and you're walking through and looking at all these Lego models you damn near can't afford. Like, what the fuck? These are expensive now. But yeah, so to me, it was always the giant Lego castle set. When I was a kid, I wanted the giant Lego castle, but they wanted to charge like $8 million gajillion dollars for it. And so I always had to settle for like the little tiny, like, you know, just like, oh.
Are you still waiting for a knight to come rescue you?
I did.
No, it's just like who doesn't want to like launch the little like from the tree bucker and just like fucking send rocks on folks? Like, yeah, that was totally what I was about when I was a kid.
I wanted the most hardcore Nerf guns. Like I had a couple of Nerf guns, but I wanted the most hardcore ones that you. And now that you look back at them, they're ridiculously priced as well. Like if you look at the Nerf guns, like they're stupidly priced.
Yeah, I had
You were one of those
I
kids
had
that
the
were always
really
shooting people in the fucking eye, and that's the reason why
yeah,
we
it
got warning
was.
labels. Thanks a
Hell yeah.
lot, Sprout. We can't have nice shit because of you. Thanks a lot.
I had
Oh,
one of those
yeah.
Nerf guns. It was like a 3-in-1. It was like a big ass rocket launcher. It had a gun, like a pistol that came off like the trigger, and like another gun that you pulled off the side of it. And that rocket
Hell
launcher
yeah.
fucking moved. It went so fucking far, dude.
Fucking Megatron Nerf rifle, dude. Let's go, baby.
All right, we'll do the Nerf
Fucking
gun debate
Power
next week.
Rangers Assemble.
Let me tell you guys a wholesome immigrant story.
Got him.
It
About
starts
Buzz.
with a Buzz Lightyear, okay? When I was growing up in Iran, the movie Toy Story came out, but because of sanctions and bullshit like this, they literally didn't have Buzz Lightyear toys. So like my parents were like, "Hey, we're gonna leave Iran. Don't worry." No, they actually said, "Pesaram, don't worry. We are going to leave Iran very soon. Just wait for us." And then I waited and I waited and I waited, and then when we first got to Canada, Buzz Lightyear was the first toy that they got for me. And I've
Nice.
always fucking
Yeah,
it
dude.
means a lot
Nice.
to me, man. Yeah, that's why
Nice.
it always that's why it always
Toys
sits in
R
the
Us
back
comes
here.
from America, so even though he's in Canada, it's still an American byproduct. So
Free
you're
trade,
welcome, baby.
baby. Free trade.
No, Canada
Listen.
is just East Alaska, right? That's all Canada is, East Alaska.
Yes, Canada is east of Alaska, exactly.
No, it's just East Alaska, not east of Alaska. It's East Alaska.
Sure.
All right, that's Palette Cleanse. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating in the Palette Cleanser. I hope you enjoyed it. Now get ready to interrupt everyone and tell each other to shut the fuck up. So yeah, for everybody in chat, thanks again for joining us. I am Dan Abbo, twitch.tv/Dan Abbo. If you want to be in any of these panels, go and join my Discord. Put your name in the booking recruitment section. We're going to go into the final topic now, which should be fun. It's specifically to ambush Dylan Burns. I made this on purpose, and it is going to be about big tech censorship and responsible platforming. If anybody didn't know, there was supposed to be a Hippy Dippy Championship this Friday, but it was cancelled because of some guy called Jean-Francois Greppi, something like that, who we couldn't platform responsibly. So we decided to cancel that, and also Voshbad. We're going to go with opening statements. We're going to start with the person I'm ambushing, Dylan Burns.
Honestly, I feel like I should have just did it. The thing is, like, the main problem I had, of course, was his personal, like criminal past. That was the biggest problem I didn't know enough about. If it wasn't for that, considering his beliefs, I still would have done it. People tried to call my place of work, and get me fired because of the panel, because of that. So it was really not a good time all around. I didn't like it. For me, when it comes to responsible platforming, it isn't a certain thing of like, well, you can never platform this idea. It is simply a mechanism to either have a conversation, or you could possibly go after an idea. For example, the reason why in most cases it's not responsible to platform a Nazi is because most people can't deal with a Nazi. Really, I would say most people, even I, wouldn't know how to properly deal with an actual full-blown neo-Nazi on a panel, because they're gonna have all this information to deny the Holocaust, or some other historical event. You didn't do that research. Have any of you actually gone through primary German source documents on the Holocaust? They have. You haven't, and they're gonna misrepresent every single part of it. And they're gonna have questions about this fact of a gas chamber or this fact of a gas chamber. You're not gonna know that stuff. So even everyone here, we all know the Holocaust happened. When you debate a Nazi, though, you're not going to be able to debate them. It would be like if we debated gravity. If you know enough bullshit about gravity, you can you can say that it's fake and you can't debate it. It's almost impossible. They'll have some bullshit they can pull out of their ass due to how much they've dedicated themselves to debating this one topic. And so it primarily is dependent upon you to, if you platform a person, make sure that you have all the ammunition necessary to shoot that person down if they say something out of line or something that's completely inaccurate. And I thought in that show that Vosh, considering the fact he already debated the man before, considering the fact that this person was 1 week before platformed on modern day debates and was restreamed on the Surfs TV, that I thought it was responsible platforming. But for some reason, mine was the one that was retweeted by big accounts. Mine was the one that was gone after, and mine was the one that people targeted my work over. So it is what it is.
And just to interrupt you, Dylan, myself, do you think big tech should censor that sort of person? Should big tech step in? Should Twitch ban him?
I think of big. I'm not really against big tech banning Holocaust denial or Xinjiang genocide denial or any of these types of things. And the main reason why is that I feel like the idea that telling a company that they are compelled to protect and platform Holocaust denial is ridiculous. If I start a social media company, what you're telling me what I need to do with my social media company is platform neo-Nazis as they advocate for my own lynching. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that.
Thank you, Dylan. I was going to go to CTV next, but he walked off. We're in open statements.
Oh,
We're in open statements. CTV.
okay.
Hello.
Well, where were we at? Oh, yeah. That's right. We were at the place in the show where
CTV
there's
talks really
going to
slowly.
be there's going to be some things said
Uh-oh.
that you're going to hear, right? Wait, can you hear me? Is my mic working?
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Okay, I just
Maybe.
want to make sure, right? So the question again, just so I make sure I understand, right, is should big tech censor what it believes to be the truth, right? I think that's kind of where we're at with the entire conversation, right? So then, like,
And
this is
responsible
where-
platforming CTV. So you know how people will be in my chat saying we shouldn't platform CTV. Is that something that should happen? And should big tech censor CTV?
Oh, absolutely not, right? The reality of the situation is that big tech needs to have we need to have the laws set up in such a way to where when private organizations are setting up a platform that there's a distinguishing marker made between the platform and the publisher. That's what needs to happen, because what we need the platforms to focus on is creating user interfaces that actually allow people to say, oh yeah, that person's full of shit, there's no reason for me to see that person anymore, right? Or this person is a Holocaust denier and they're absolutely full of shit. Feel free to check out some great Netflix documentaries that they have on there where they actually show the video from World War II, where it shows the actual German people that they marched into the concentration camps after the war to show them what was happening at the end of the war. When they walk in, they're all smiling and happy. They have no idea what they're about to see. But when they walk out, boy, do they have a different look on their face. I don't know how anybody in reality could actually be a Holocaust denier when we have actual video evidence of that happening. So, distinguishing markers need to be between platforms and publishers, because I do think that there are content creators out there that somehow that like their platform is something that they need to be worrying about, when in reality what we should be trying to do here in the Twitch politics community is network and build relationships so that we can actually have, if not all, but at least parts of the community be taken seriously when it comes to actual politics, rather than it just all being a meme. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Thanks, CTV. Dr. Heemed.
Okay, so this is a really interesting topic. So first of all, I just want to circle back to what Dylan was talking about before with the JF situation. So I completely agree that I don't think that JF being platformed is good, not because of his ideas, but because of his like sketchy past. It would be hard for me personally to have a conversation with someone who I know has this kind of past, and then me just by not bringing it up, it would just be brushing it under the rug or ignoring it. And if I do bring it up, it just is something that's uncomfortable and like ambushy, kind of like if we're there to debate socialism versus capitalism and I bring up the guy's personal life, it doesn't really make sense. So probably the best thing is to not platform him. But at the same time, I agree that like he was platformed right before that, in my opinion, irresponsibly, both by the modern day debate situation, by Surfs TV, who was unprepared for the debate and didn't know the JF's arguments, even though he uses those same arguments in every debate. And as much as we all love him, Destiny probably irresponsibly platformed it too, because he just passively watched back the debate. And even at the end of his review, he said, "Oh, I probably just irresponsibly platformed him," and then went ahead and put the YouTube video up anyways. So I think a lot of people are probably irresponsibly platforming, and I don't think it's fair to single out one person or whatever. And I think if anything, Dylan's version of having Vosh on would have been probably the most responsible version of it, recently. But going forward from that, I actually read JF's article that he kept citing in his debate with Lance. He kept saying there was an article in Nature magazine that says that there's a poor gene or a lazy gene, and that poor people have more kids, so they pass this down. I thought that was stupid right away. So I actually went and found the article and I read it on stream and we debunked it. So if anybody wants to see that clip, it's on YouTube, and I critique the debate as well as went over the arguments. And the arguments are honestly super fucking easy. The article he cites disagrees with his own points. In the very first sentence, all the way through to the end, says that there's so many environmental factors that affect outcomes, and we shouldn't trust these kind of things. Da da da. So I highly recommend anybody who's interested go actually read the article or watch my review. But so that's my opinion on platforming. I think Dylan's 100% right. If you can find someone who's adequately read up on the topic, I don't think that it's bad to engage with these topics, because otherwise these topics go kind of they don't just go dormant, they're kind of festering underneath the surface. And I think it's good to shine light on bad arguments like this and to debunk them. But yeah, so overall, that's my opinion. It's really shitty, Dylan, what happened to you. I'm fucking sorry that happened. That's ridiculous. And as soon as I heard, I was like, okay, like, it's one thing to disagree with the platforming someone, but it's another to, take these things to another level. Like, that's completely ridiculous. But yeah, as for tech censorship, it's yeah, I don't know. It's tough. We have to go by individual situations, but I'm interested in this topic overall.
Thank you, Dr. Heemed. TheSprouticus.
So I'll start off with tech censorship. I think that tech censorship is it shouldn't happen. Anything outside of the boundaries of the First Amendment. With that being said, the tech companies fall underneath Section 230 voluntarily. Might I add that they're not a publisher but a platform. And when you start taking people you start taking people off your platform because they're saying something that you disagree with, you then become a publisher. Such as when the right decided to say that the COVID-19 came from a lab. Facebook and Twitter decided to start kicking people off because it was quote unquote false information. Well, guess what? COVID-19, most evidence points towards, came from a lab. So it wasn't quote unquote false information. It was correct information that Facebook just disagreed with. At that point, they would move themselves to a publisher. And if you want to be a publisher, then you know what, you go ahead and be a publisher. But as long as you're going to put yourself out there as a platform, then you don't retain the right to ban views you just inherently disagree with. As to the irresponsible platforming part of this discussion. I feel bad that people went after Dylan Burns' work. That should never happen. People shouldn't try to attack personal lives because of what happens online. We shouldn't be terminally online. We should all go touch some grass here and there. But I think that there is some irresponsible platforming, and I think it happens by both sides, not just one side. I think both sides irresponsibly platform people, and I just think that if we're going to talk about this topic specifically, I think the most irresponsible choice in that was to give a title shot to a guy who has never been in a hippy dippy. I think that there should be some like pre-qualifications to taking a title shot, rather than just having your name be known.
Are you saying you want the title shot? Is that
I'm saying I want the title shot.
okay? All right.
Oh,
Thanks, Sprout.
Wait,
Wait.
to be clear, Sprouticus, you've never been in a hippy dippy championship match of any sort or rumble of anything until this next one.
I've been to hippy dippies before.
You've been on hippy dippy, but
What day's the next one?
championship, it's the 16th.
Friday the 16th, 8 p.m.
Has
EST,
JF ever
right?
been in a round table?
No,
Okay, so that's my point.
it's money. I make
JF's
money,
been in the game though.
Sprouticus.
You're
Can you
looking
make
at
me
the
money?
first
All right,
ever
opening
Royal Rumble
statements.
winner.
You
Opening.
can't even
Heck
make
no,
your
Jim
you can't even
Duggan.
make yourself money with the platform. You're gonna make me money. You gotta prove it to me, man.
Opening
All right, I'll
statements.
prove it to you. I'll prove it to you in the
MindWaves.
Rumble.
I feel like this conversation's like way too meta for me. I don't really know if I have like an opinion on this.
I think you do have an opinion on this. You ran a panel for a long time, and people were telling you that you were irresponsibly platforming people. People like that I've got on right now, CTV, The Sprout, Phil Kelly, any conservative that you had on any of your panels, people would say you're being irresponsible. You get that complaint each and every week.
Yeah, I think that people mostly like make too big of a deal of this idea of like irresponsible platforming. I think that a lot of people will just assume that like I don't know if you platform somebody one time that you like are you gonna create like a bunch of Nazis or something like overnight, and it just really doesn't work like that. I mean, I agree that we should try to platform people responsibly, and you know, if there are dangerous ideas going to be spout, and you know that ahead of time, you should definitely try to make sure that at the very least there's somebody there to push back against it adequately. And if you yourself as a host aren't knowledgeable enough to be able to navigate that, you probably just shouldn't have that conversation. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
And should big tech censor them? Should big tech censor people like CTV? Where does the line draw on that?
I don't know. I'm really torn on big tech censorship. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested in other people's conversation on that.
Thank you, MindWaves. Nacho.
Okay, yeah. All right, I had to make sure I was unmuted this time. Yeah, I don't think okay. Tech censoring people doesn't really there's some things that bother me and some things that don't. Like a private business has a right to refuse anybody service that they want to, but I think that Section 230 like kind of muddies the water in a sense, because when they have that one clause that basically says anything lewd, lascivious, like a publisher or a whatever, a platform has a right to remove anything that's lewd, lascivious, or anything otherwise objectionable. That pretty much leaves it wide open. So either that needs to be a little more strictly interpreted, or my position is that basically the government should provide a UPS version of fucking public social media to everyone, so that everyone feels like that they're accepted, that they can put out whatever the fuck they want to put out. And to some degree, that feels like the better solution to me, because you want these people kind of being exposed to new ideas. You want those people to also be exposed, right? So maybe you don't have the tools to combat some type of, whatever, this person is like really studied and educated on the Nazi history or this history or that, and they can spout this out and they can make their side sound really, 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 really good. But a historian could come along and just debunk everything that they just put out. So to some degree, I feel like there needs to be a place for the absolute free market of ideas and free speech, right? But I don't know how necessarily we come to that, how we get there. Either that, or is it that we make shadow banning a legal or not a legal thing, but a public thing, right? Instead of Twitch and Twitter and YouTube and all these people okay, well, we're basically going to shadow ban you. We're not going to tell you that we're shadow banning. They should just tell you, like, hey, you violated such and such parts of our 2S, or even if they didn't, because you're a private business, you have the right to refuse service to people. You can just tell them, hey, we're not going to put you on our play next. We're not going to promote you on the algorithm. No one's going to see you after posts, but you still have a place on this platform. People can come and visit your website. And that not only leaves... The reason I don't like necessarily banning people altogether is because it can galvanize a lot of radicals into their positions, I guess. So that's kind of, hopefully that makes sense. But I would much rather there be a space where totally everything can be said freely, or that at the very least that these social media platforms could publicly shadow ban people instead of privately. So that's pretty much it for that, though.
Thank you, Nacho. Next up, we've got Stardust. I'm going to give a bit of context to Stardust. You were said to have irresponsibly platformed somebody called Infrared on your Chaos Cast panel last week, discussing pizza. Do you think you irresponsibly platformed during a pizza debate? Should Big Tech censor?
So yeah, that was probably the first time I've ever gotten into beef with anybody. We were just arguing about pizza. That was the topic of the night, right? And we had Infrared on. Somebody had an issue with that. And I don't think so. I really don't think it was irresponsible platforming because I was like dressed up like a fool, right? I've argued with that person before. I debated him on clown rights while dressed completely as a clown. Like, like I don't think it really lends any importance to the person, if people are so worried about that. As far as like,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your opening, and then I'll follow up. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah. As far as like content creators go, I think people need, people have to judge for themselves on how the person they're having on is going to be perceived. And for an argument about pizza, where I'm clearly dressed up and I'm like coated in gold, like I don't think anybody takes that seriously. I get what Dylan is saying though. If you're, let's say, platforming a Nazi, you do have to be well researched, right? Because Nazis not only do they pull from their own sources, they have their own set of vocabulary that they use. And, depending on how deep you go with them, it's like they're speaking about a completely, I don't know, they can be speaking a whole different language at a certain point because of the vocabulary that they use. So yeah, you do have to be careful. You have to be prepared. And if you make a mistake, then yeah, you should own up to it. But for the most part, I think it sucks that Dylan had to cancel his thing because it seems like he was aware of both sides. He was aware of their capabilities. So yeah.
Thank you, Stardust. And to close us out in the
Now I'm
final...
stuck with you fuckers instead.
Yep, I'm sorry.
I think Heemed had a question.
Wait, no, Phil Coe.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
Closing statement.
I
Opening
have
statement.
always, thank you. I have always been a firm believer that sunlight is the best disinfectant. Like ideas like fascism or flat eartherism or any of the like. It's no great brain feat to defeat them. It's no great brain feat to leave them in the dust. But to me, you don't have to encounter every single one that comes across your path, but I do think once in a while, yes, it is good to shine some sunlight on these bad ideas because that is the best way for everybody to see how stupid they are, to mock them. And another thing, Dylan, you were talking about Holocaust denial. I just wanted to bring in a little bit of a personal story. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. He was actually awarded a Purple Heart at the Battle of the Bulge, and he actually helped liberate a concentration camp. And he didn't tell us this until he had to help my brother with a school assignment. So in that regard, yeah, like I think it's a especially stupid idea, people who promote that. But like to me, I always go back to a quote from John Stuart Mills, and that is, if all in society agreed on the truth, beauty, or value of one proposition or another, all except one deviant, it would be more important, it would be especially important that that one heretic be heard, because we could still benefit from their appalling and terrible view. And so whenever you want to limit the speech of another person, you are always potentially making a rod for your own back, because that can immediately be turned back around on you the minute the political pendulum swings the other way. And also, one thing I wanted to bring up, it was actually Dr. DrHeemedOut. He was talking about how arguments, they'll sometimes go dormant if you don't confront them head on. It's actually worse than that. They don't go dormant. What happens to
Oh, that's what
ideas
I said they don't go dormant. I agreed.
okay.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they become more than that. They become like a Cuban cigar, forbidden fruit. Why is it that they don't want me to know this? And so in a weird way, it's like the Streisand effect. By trying to keep people from knowing about something, you end up spreading the idea way farther than it would have gone if you would have just disproven them, laughed at them in the moment, and said, ha ha, I guess you're wrong. Catch you next time. So to me, wanting to cancel folks and running to these intellectual digital hall monitors, to me, has always been kind of a confession of a lack of confidence in one's own arguments. Now, I understand you don't, in terms of your own personal platforming, you know, it's like me, I don't have people on my show that I don't like, and I don't think anybody, if they think it's not a good idea, just straight up, if you're just like, I don't like this guy or gal, I don't like him, that should be enough. So if it's your own show, that I totally get. And in terms of platforms where I would personally draw the line, threats of the initiation of the use of force and violence. That's where I would always draw the line. At that point, you have done something that is not a part of civilized society. And folks, with all of that, koenation, YouTube, and Twitch, I yield.
Thank you very much. Before everyone engages, I'm very interested in this conversation. As a person that books a lot of panels and gets a lot of messages on how I'm told not to ever book CTV ever again or Sprout ever again, I'm very interested in where this goes. Dr. Team, do you have a question? And open discussion.
So I have a couple of questions for Stardust. So I just want to know if you, okay, first of all, full disclosure, I'm a fan of Infrared. I think he's hilarious, okay? I think his politics are a bit cringe sometimes, and I think the way that I think he can be bigoted sometimes when he's really fired up and like whatever. It doesn't offend me, but I can
Just
see
like
how...
my uncle in West Virginia. I understand.
I think he can be bigoted sometimes when he's angry. I don't think this is a questionable thing. Do you agree with that, first off?
I haven't seen him angry. I do think he's
Really?
hilarious, but yeah, I haven't seen him angry.
Oh, he's
For
very
the debate,
hilarious. Yeah,
yeah,
100%. He's hilarious. Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe you didn't know, but I personally think that like I don't know. I've heard him say a lot of anti-LGBTQ slurs to people, and I don't think this is like a surprise to anybody. So my thing would be like, because he's so entertaining, because he's so hilarious, because he has that other side of him that is charming and whatnot, I don't know if it's a good idea to have him on to talk about pizza, where he's able to show his like sweetheart, funny, charming side, bring people in, and then maybe they get caught up in the community that's like bigoted or whatnot. Do you agree, or what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't really agree. I think because it's not like he does the same type of content as me, right? The type of content that he does is very political, right? It's not very like humor focused, at least from what I can tell. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. I think if somebody is entertained by that, they might check him out and they might disagree with his politics, just like I disagree with his politics, but still find him funny. As far as like I don't know. I don't think I don't really see it that way. I could
Like I
be
wonder
wrong.
if I wonder
Yeah.
if it's even worse to have him on to talk about pizza versus if you had him on to talk about his politics.
Well,
Because
because
at least in that
I
way
don't know. Yeah.
in that way he can't like I wonder if these kind of meme debates might normalize people a little bit.
I don't know who we're talking
I-
about
I
here, but
don't-
it seems like we're
so-
worried about humanizing someone. And like,
Well, let's
I
keep
don't
it.
know who
Let's
we're talking
wait,
about here.
let's keep it
But-
general, right? So, if you had
I-
conservatives
yeah.
on that were funny, is it right to platform them and you would disagree with their bad ideas?
Of course.
Is it right to?
Yeah.
That's not the same. Wait, hold on, because that's not really the same. Conservatives aren't really the same as this JF. Isn't this JF guy
We're talking about two
radical?
different people. We're talking about two different people.
In the
Right.
eyes of many people on the left, conservatives conservatives are terrible and you should never talk to them ever. So if you have a funny conservative on,
anyone-
you're irresponsible
Yeah.
platforming.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
listen, I gotta
So
say,
if I can
what- can I just answer? I think the question was directed to me. I don't think that
Uh-huh.
CTV's chat is as toxic as this chat. Straight up.
it's true.
As whose?
Wait, what?
Infrared's?
Yeah.
Oh, Infrared's chat's been like super chill from my experience. I don't know.
Wait,
Maybe
I mean, for me, my one interaction I
Yeah.
had with him ended with like all my YouTube comments being filled with "Dylan, you're a pedophile." I mean, like
yeah.
no. I mean,
I mean,
I've
to
never,
br-
I've
I don't
never
know
had
then.
good
To
interactions
bring
with
it-
him.
Haters
bring that up-
means
to
you've
bring
made
that
it.
up,
That's
though.
all that means, Dylan. When you got
But-
haters, that
but
means you
again,
made it.
To bring that up though,
Uh,
it's kind of I feel like it's kind of a little bit disingenuous to say that conservatives are irresponsibly platformed, especially in the left platforms. Some people that are out of their mind as well. I got out of a debate with someone who only used ad hominem attacks the entire time. And I would consider that irresponsible platforming. Although I wouldn't message the person saying never host that person again. I just strongly disagree with that person, and I'm not really willing to engage with that person, but I'll engage with the rest of the panel from this point forward. But I think that it really just comes down to that. And for people that I feel like that we've just become so partisan in this country that people are going to message Danabo saying that the conservatives that he hosts are irresponsibly platforming because we have different ideas than you. It just seems a little bit ridiculous for someone to say that hosting a conservative is irresponsibly platforming just because you disagree with their ideas. And that's where we lead to big tech censorship, right? Because big tech censorship is censoring the right because of their ideas, which it turned out to be right? Like all evidence points to COVID-19 coming from a lab. Which
Oh,
which
that-
came which
That's
which came
not
which
I have
which
to
came
disagree
which
with that.
which
That's
came
bullshit.
which came from the right. Most evidence
you say
points
all
to it coming from a
evidence?
lab.
That's
No, I have
Let
to
me
disagree
finish.
with that.
It came from the right, and they were banned off Facebook, and they were banned off Twitter. You could disagree with it as much as you want. Go read the scientific
Please.
articles, and you can see how the scientific opinion is moving closer and closer to it coming from a lab than coming from a bat.
Just
Such
says
as bats.
things.
Such as bats.
Annabelle,
weren't
this is
even sold in the
irresponsible
West.
platforming. I need you to-
Wait. Let Sprout
Such
finish,
as-
please. I've got
such,
Dr. Heems
such
next.
as bats weren't even sold in the wet market, like they said that where it came from. The bat came from the wet market, and the bats aren't even sold there. So, the further we dig into this, the further we realize, hey, that there's a huge possibility that actually is true, and conservatives got denied on that, and they got banned from their own platforms, their own reaching out to other people. Because they stated what they thought was true, and Facebook disagreed with them and said, "No, we disagree with you. Bye, banned. Have fun."
No, Dr. Heems, respond, and then we want to go back on topic. All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually circle it back around to the main topic. First of all,
Okay.
I've never heard anything. I follow this COVID stuff every day on my stream. I had someone on who read every single Fauci email. We've been through every single fucking claim about whether it's magnetic, whether it's 5G, the fucking whole thing. It's the whole reason I got into streaming. I've never heard this concept that the majority of the science now points to the fact that it's a lab leak. Even if it does, it doesn't really
CDC
fucking matter. Can I
head
just
just
finish,
said that.
please? Can I just finish? Can I finish or no?
Former CDC head.
Can I
just said that,
can I
bro.
finish or no?
Yep,
No?
finish.
Well, just letting you know.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Former
thanks.
CDC head.
Can I finish or no? Okay. So basically, there's a lot of science that pointed to the fact that you should vaccinate, you should wear masks, you should have lockdowns, and Republicans refused all of that science as well. So the bigger thing that I want to point to is that when people have big platforms, I feel like when they're talking about science in particular, and I've said this on other panels before, when you're talking about science on big platforms, you're basically doing scientific publication. If you come out and you say, oh, like masks don't work or whatever, and you have a Twitter platform of over 100,000 people, you're doing scientific publication that hasn't been through any of the rigor that's required to do scientific publication. Some people's Twitter accounts are literally bigger than the amount of people that read Nature magazine or any of Scientific American or any of these things. So there should be some level of vetting that goes into whether or not things are factual when they are tweeted out, especially when it comes to science. And I think that is irresponsible platforming to allow any dumb fuck to talk about science in a public way like that.
Really? So you don't think we should have a public
Oh,
conversation?
you,
You just
Dylan.
you inherently
can-
Dr. Heem, you inherently
ahead.
disagree with the idea of the public square, the marketplace of ideas. You inherently disagree that each person can bring something different to a conversation.
Yeah.
So you inherently disagree with that. You think that there
Okay,
needs to
can I
be
finish? Okay, you can say-
you think that 50% of the public or more needs to agree with your opinion before you are allowed to state it.
No, I don't even care if 50%. If 50% of the public says masks don't work, but the scientific method says masks work, I still would go with the scientific method. I don't give a fuck what
And that's
some
your
average.
personal opinion. But how?
It's not-
Who
the
are you?
scientific
Who
method
are
is
you?
not
Who
a-
are you? So who,
Okay,
who,
but
who are
wait.
you to say that? Who
Okay.
are you to say that everyone else should be banned?
If-
Science shouldn't be beyond
That-
question, right?
If I
Science,
could
science should always be
Stephen-
There's
able
a
to be
difference
questioned.
between the
Stephen's
scientific.
position
Can I just
here.
finish? There's a difference between the scientific method and some random person's opinion. You don't agree with that?
Okay, but the
CDC
scientific
bomb,
method used to
COVID-19
say-
virus came
Hey,
from
too
lab.
many people talking.
CNN.
No. The scientific
I want to
method
hear what
used to
Nacho
say
has to say.
the
Yeah, go ahead.
the Earth was flat. That's all I'm gonna try to. I'm trying to steel man this position the
Go ahead,
best
go
way
ahead.
that I possibly can. Like if I could, steel man this, I would say that scientists used to say that the Earth was flat, majority.
Okay.
And then there came along
the-
scientists that
okay.
said like, oh no, the Earth is round, and for a while they had to fight for that position. So
Okay, but we've
I'm gonna
come
say-
a long-
I'm
the
tr-
scientific method has come a long way. You cannot even compare.
I know. I'm just saying that for masks and for some of these other things, it's not wholly unreasonable to question these things. I think it's healthy to question them to a certain
Okay,
extent. But
Sure, but the questioning has to go through the correct rigor as well.
What question?
True.
So the question
Okay,
is,
that's it.
There's a difference also between
there's
There's
scientists-
a difference
but listen,
also.
listen,
People
there's a sci- there's-
aren't just questioning. If they were just purely questioning on social media, I think it would be a little bit different. But no, we have flat out denial of
Exactly.
the effectiveness of masks. That's completely
You wanna give your
irresponsible.
Listen, you
COVID
want to
came
give
from a
your
lab,
opinion.
Now the
You want to give,
ex-CDC said
you want to
it.
give your
So,
opinion.
I mean,
you want to
fine,
give
what do
your
you want then?
opinion and say, "Oh, look, I don't like the way masks feel on my face. It makes me claustrophobic." I
Is
think
it my
that's
freedom to not wear a mask?
no.
Is it my,
You can.
is it
One
is it my
second. Can
personal
I just
freedom to
finish?
not wear a mask?
Can I just finish? If you want to
That's not
say,
even the
if you want to
point.
say, if you want to come on
Kind of
Twitter
is.
and say the mask doesn't make me feel good, it makes me claustrophobic, I think that's fair. But if you come out and say masks don't work, then that's a whole different fucking situation. Do you see how the difference is?
Okay,
You can come
so-
out and give your opinion on things.
So here's what
Heem,
I've
can I ask you a
stated
question real quick?
over and over again.
Wait,
and it was
Can I
it
ask
was
the
put-
lefties on the panel a quick question?
Go ahead.
Do you guys believe in a border wall?
Yeah, of course.
Like having a border?
What do you
Yeah.
mean? To have a border? Do I believe that
Like, do
you
you-
should? What's the question? Sorry. To have a wall specifically, or
Oh,
to
I
have
know
a
where you're going
border?
with this in that
Are you-
Nacho, you sneaky.
Are you pro or like anti-wall? Like, could you just define like whether you're...
I don't know.
Trump's-
I would have
Trump's
to. I would
border
have to
wall.
probably anti because of how much it would cost and how little effectiveness it would have. Maybe
Okay, but you know that
because people
That the-
overstay their visas, right?
right? But the wall isn't like the end-all be-all solution, right? It just helps.
Okay, sure.
So I use this. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I use this at both the reverse and like both
What's
sides,
the, what's
right?
the relevance?
I've
Draw
used
the
this-
draw the
I've used-
draw the connection.
I've used this in both regards, as far as like for the left and against the left, and for the right and against the left and the right, because I think that to some degree it's fine to wear a mask, and vice versa, to have a wall and to not have a wall, because it's not the cure, right? This is not the cure to the virus. This is not the cure to like illegal immigration, but it helps along the way, right?
Do you really think a mask is comparable to the wall?
Yes.
Really, I
Good
would say
analogy.
that.
Wall
one
isn't
second. Can I say
scientifically
why it's
tested.
uncomparable? Can I say why it's uncomparable? One is a large
yeah.
infrastructure program that you have to dump tons of money in. The other is a mask mandate, which you can stop wearing masks once the disease is taken care
friction.
of. What are you
So
gonna do
what's-
if
so
you build
what's
the
the-
wall?
Add friction.
One sec. If you build the
They both
wall,
add
what do you,
friction.
can I just? If you build the wall, are you gonna then dismantle the wall if the fucking immigration crisis stops? Of course not. So it's silly.
Most walls
No,
do
but you wouldn't
eventually
have
get
to
dismantled.
Would you dismantle
Berlin
it,
Wall
though?
got dismantled
Well,
over
because I'm
time.
saying the mask
walls
mandate-
It's
hopefully become
incomparable.
useless. The
It's
mask
incomparable.
mandate
It's-
Eventually ends.
It's not incomparable.
The
Yeah,
mask
the mask
mandate
mandate
eventually
ends.
ends.
Also, masks are
so what Nacho
masks
is
are
making-
tested by
point that Nacho is
scientists and by
making-
doctors.
So the point
Like
that
they're
Nacho is making.
tested.
So the
There's
point
no
that Nacho.
testing.
So the point.
Everyone stop.
okay,
Everyone stop.
equivalent.
Start us stuff. Well, I want to test to see whether Dylan Burns and MindWavesTV on Twitter over there, on their phones or on Tinder, whatever they're doing. I want to
They're
test.
talking behind their back.
I want to test if they're listening, and I would like one of them to steelman Nacho's argument in favor of walls comparing to masks. Pick one of you.
Okay.
Go for it,
So I
Dylan.
mean, basically, like his argument is that, well, it's one part of a larger strategy to combat illegal immigration, much like masks was one small part of a larger strategy to combat COVID. And so, for people who are so hardcore, like if you don't accept masks, then you don't care at all about COVID. It's ridiculous for them to have the same standard for the wall because they don't have that standard for the wall.
But there's inherently a
that fair?
difference between the federal government
That's
having
pretty
an
good,
actual
yes.
responsibility to do something versus the states actually having the responsibility to do a thing, and then the states actually taking that responsibility and fucking doing it, right? There's a wholly a different fucking argument to be had when you want to compare the wall to mask.
The point of both of them is to add friction. It's to like Dylan said, it's to try and be part of a comprehensive strategy. And so I do understand the minute American Nacho starts saying, they're like, I know where you're going with this.
It's a
You
bad
sneaky you."
example. It's not a good. It's not a 1-to-1. It's not even
And
close.
also, but it got yelled over quite a few times, but I just wanted to mention it one more time. The former CDC head also says he believes that the Wuhan virus came from a lab. So
okay,
people were banned for
Hey,
that
wait.
months
It's
ago.
still
Now the
being-
former CDC head is saying it.
Hey, you
folks.
know what,
Okay,
Phil?
but
I can
people
get you.
are still
Wait.
investigating
Hey,
that.
Jesse Ventura, who was an American politician, has some interesting
What
things
is
to
it?
say about 9/11. So I mean,
Jesse
we really need to
Ventura.
take a step back and like talk about that. Like you have to give me like scientific evidence, not just some random person saying something.
former CDC
the
head
thing.
who was
It's
actually
the
Right.
former-
during the
Jesse
COVID
Ventura, he was
it's-
governor of
it's the-
something or whatever.
So it's the former CDC head that is stating this, right? And people were banned off Facebook, off of
No,
Twitter.
fuck,
They-
stop. You're such a persecution complex.
I'm gonna keep talking.
They were
So,
banned
they were
off
banned-
of
no, they
for
were banned off
denying
of
masks.
no, stop. They were banned off Facebook. No, seriously, they were banned off Facebook and banned off Twitter for saying that COVID came from a lab. That's what they were banned off Facebook and Twitter for. With that being said, it then now to see the former CDC head agrees, right? And do you see the former CDC head banned off Twitter or banned off Facebook? No, because Facebook is now saying, oh, okay, that's actually a possibility. Okay, so Facebook is now taking their opinion of what's a possibility and what's not a possibility, and they're now using that opinion to ban people, specifically conservatives. Conservatives have had their target on had a target on their back ever since Trump won in 2016, and the left couldn't ever get over it.
Sprout,
They couldn't ever get over the fact that Trump
Sprout,
won.
I've
and
got
they've
a
had
question
target
for you,
on their
Sprout.
back to get banned
Well,
from social media.
I haven't said anything of my own volition the
Go
whole
on then, Dylan.
thing. Can I say that? Okay. First thing is first. Again, I don't think that we can use one person saying one thing about the virus, no matter the position they had to hold,
CDC head.
as like, again, I don't care. You could have said the former president of the United States. That's one person saying one thing. This is the argument that's used for a lot of stuff. I've seen people use like this historian said this about the Holocaust. So you know what? Maybe we need to re-examine our position. This person who used to work in national security said this about 9/11. So we need to re-examine this. This person who used to work in national security said this about Assad gassing his own people. So we need to
UFOs.
re-examine this. I see this all the time. So just that is not enough for me. Next, no.
So don't trust the science now.
Oh, okay.
Science.
Wait.
Science.
Phil
Is
Kelly,
one
Phil
person
Kelly,
science?
Phil Kelly, you weigh 2 pounds, okay? And I said that, so it's science.
you.
Words are science now. That's how
What?
this works.
This is
That's
Wow.
ridiculous.
awesome. I love this panel.
Anyway,
Oh, this is
anyway.
great.
Science.
that's ridiculous.
Now I do have
okay?
to say one more
No,
thing. You brought up
fuck.
Jesse
Never gonna
Ventura,
be able to-
and
yeah?
it was if he would have been elected president, he would have recognized straight marriage, gay marriage, and lifelong tag team partnerships. And
He would have.
Wait, what?
The thing is, Sprouticus, the bans were not just like it is possible that this could have happened, right? It was people saying this did happen. I know what happened. Let me show you this fucking 4chan thread about why it happened. Or it was a bioweapon that leaked from a lab. Two things that were unproven and do not have enough evidence to substantiate it to the point you're putting. You're pushing
Okay.
this at like
Okay,
number one.
why does
Wait,
that matter? No, you interrupted me.
didn't
I
even
get
let
to
me-
interrupt you.
No,
So
you
why
can
does
suck
that-
my
why does
cock,
that
okay?
matter?
I don't
So
care,
why does
okay?
that
You
matter?
can,
So
you
here's
look,
the thing.
look.
So,
You're
right,
shut the
so I
fuck
don't
up.
know
Shut the
whether us
fuck up.
people
I'm
Let
know
gonna
Dylan
why
mute.
it
finish.
matters.
Let
I'm
Dylan
just gonna
finish.
mute you. I don't care. I don't
Let
care
Dylan
what you have
finish.
to say.
It's muted.
I'm not
Dylan,
listening.
finish.
I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
Dylan,
I'm
he's
not
muted.
listening.
Listen to
I'm
me.
not listening.
Listen to me.
I'm not listening. Mute him.
He's
Mute him.
muted.
He's
Mute
not
him.
muted. I can
Mute
hear
him.
him. I can
Love
still
is
hear
in
his
the
voice.
air.
Oh my god. Okay,
He
so
should be
one second.
muted.
I'm just gonna forget that he
Oh, he is muted.
exists.
There you go. Go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna mute him and just keep him muted. Okay.
No, don't do that.
So I didn't hear a single thing he said. So I'm just gonna ignore everything he just said. Okay. So the first thing is,
Talk about
the
bias.
people who were getting banned were people who were saying with authority that this is what happened when we don't have enough evidence to prove that, and they certainly didn't have enough evidence at the time. There was also people claiming that it was a bioweapon or suggesting it was a bioweapon where we have no evidence of that sort. Then there was people, of course, claiming that not only did it leak from a lab, but it was done so intentionally, which we don't have evidence for, right? And by the way, Facebook chooses what's true and isn't true, or what should be a respectable position, what isn't. What is the other example? Because if they're gonna ban people for spreading disinformation, someone has to make the determination. Or are you suggesting a government body so we have a
Exactly.
Ministry of Truth? Ooh,
Who
I
is to
love that
decide?
idea. Yeah,
Is there
who is to
anybody that
decide?
you'd like to
You know,
decide for
the-
you
no,
what
wait,
is
wait,
fit
wait.
to read,
Wait,
folks?
wait,
Is there
wait.
anybody in this
Yes,
audience
yes,
that you'd like to
yes.
decide for you
Yes,
what is
yes.
fit for you to know, what you might need to hear something, but is fit, or whether or not you get to know it?
Okay,
That's
he's
what's
muted
being
for me
decided
too, so I
here.
can't
Can I
hear
respond to
KOE
that?
as well.
Can I respond
So,
to
So
that,
are we
Dylan.
just
thing
going
is-
to mute all conservatives until Dylan gets the chance to just continue?
CTV is now
fucking
muted too, so
talking
yes,
let
the
him
answer to that is
talk.
yes.
Okay,
So I'm gonna finish.
You want us to decide
The
for
thing is,
you what you
the
get to know,
platform
folks.
which hosts them is going to be
Right,
the,
I'm gonna mute everyone.
Decide for you, folks. I
the
want you to
platform.
decide
Just
for
mute him.
yourself.
Just mute
That's what I
him.
want.
All the
Look, the
conservatives.
platform which
Ever.
shut. Guys,
This
please
is
let me talk.
ridiculous.
I
I
can't
can't
hear
even
them.
respond to
My
what's
audience
being
can't
said.
hear them.
He's gotta go on
Please,
mute.
does everybody else be
Dylan,
quiet?
stop.
while I
Right,
talk?
everyone stop, everyone stop, everyone stop, everyone stop.
Everyone
I'm
is like to be
talking,
in
I'm
the fucking
talking, I'm
rain.
talking, I'm talking to moderate, I'm talking to moderate, I'm talking to moderate. Please let Dylan finish. Why do you have to keep interrupting? He sat there
I
on
would
his
like to
phone.
respond.
Just let him finish. He sat there on his phone for most of the first part of the topic. Yeah, I'm giving him a few minutes just to say his piece, and then he'll probably go back to sitting on his phone, and you'll get to respond for the rest of the night. Dylan, please finish, and then we'll go to Sprout to respond, please.
The thing is, the only people who should be deciding are the people who own these platforms. The thing is, they should be able to decide which they host on their platforms. Because we're not going to be able to have a government ministry of truth. That would be ridiculous. We can't have the government deciding what is and isn't acceptable speech on public platforms. So ultimately, it's going to have to be those who put the capital, put the money, and do the work to actually host these things. So they're going to be the ones that decide who gets removed and who stays. We can disagree with who they decide to who stays and who goes, but ultimately that is probably the best option. There's not going to be a perfect answer here, but I have yet to hear a better suggestion on who decides who gets the boot or not. So I feel that the framing of this has been a little off kilter.
Sprout.
So me, KOE, and Critically Thinking Veteran have been muted by Dylan Burnside. So Nacho, I fully expect you to let Dylan know if we're talking and he starts talking over us just
We
for
can
some
hear
random
you.
point or
We
not.
can hear you.
I just
But
unmuted you.
with that being said,
True.
I would like to move on to actually talk about. I did touch grass. Okay, so I'm actually gonna touch grass.
Yeah,
after
but
this
what
about
about the other
fireworks.
one?
So I don't eat ass. I don't do that. But here's the thing. So, moving forward from this, Dylan says that people, that Facebook should decide what is and isn't allowed on their platform to be able to ban for whatever they want to. Guess what that would make Facebook? That would make Facebook a publisher, not a platform, but a publisher. They put themselves out there as a platform, and they receive tax benefit. They receive tax benefits compared to publisher because they are a platform. If we're going to talk about platforms versus publishers, and whether or not you think Facebook is a platform or a publisher, we can certainly have that discussion. Unfortunately, that's not the discussion we're having because Facebook says they're a platform. So therefore, your rules would no longer work for Facebook because your rules would put Facebook in the ideology of a publisher. With moving on from that, we're going to talk about the COVID coming from a lab. This is said by more than just the former CDC director. This is said by many scientists who have evidence, right? And so, what's it matter if some random person says that I know CDC came from a lab? Right? This random person with 30 followers says that I know CDC came from a lab. That doesn't hurt anybody, first off. And second off, there's a comment section in which people can say, the science disagrees with you. Look at these articles. And if anyone wants to do their evidence, they can look at the evidence. But there's no difference in me going outside saying, I know CDC came from a lab, and posting on Facebook saying, I know CDC came from a lab. There is zero difference. I'm not going to get arrested. There's not going to be any public, there's not going to be any detriment to me if I say I know CDC came from a lab in public. But now all of a sudden I'm getting banned, and I can no longer talk on the now public square because the public square doesn't exist in public anymore. It now exists on the internet. I can't talk on the public square because I spoke the truth before everyone else was willing to recognize it was the truth.
Aimed.
Makes it a lot harder to speak truth to power.
Aimed. Good.
He was speaking the
Yes.
the meaning of life.
All right.
God.
He's muted. Still muted. Phil. You've got notes, Phil.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
can
shit,
you hear
wait.
me?
I was
Too
on
late.
mute,
All right, all
sorry.
right. I was just going to say a couple of things. I understand, yeah, we were starting to talk over each other, but I do think, folks, if you agree to be on a panel, you should participate with the panel. But yeah, that's just me. Call me old-fashioned. But now I forgot where I was going to go with that. But Dr. Heemed, you seem like you're just ready to fucking burst, so fucking
I'm
go for
sorry,
it,
I
man.
was on mute. I was going off. I was dropping facts and then I was on mute. Okay, first of all, when you said CDC came from the lab, I assume you meant COVID came from the lab, but
Okay, so I might
so just
misspoke. Yeah,
it's
that's what I
okay.
meant.
Just to be clear though, so at the beginning when COVID was first coming out, there was conspiracy theories and whatnot that it's a bio weapon that came from a lab, with absolutely no evidence, and that was shut down, rightfully so. Now, within the scientific community, I agree there is some question about whether or not it may have been studied at the lab and then leaked accidentally, none of which is to say that it's a bioweapon, whatever. And I think at this point, the scientific community is actually investigating this. Whether or not some random person on the internet is able to voice their opinion isn't really the important thing, right? The important thing is that the scientific community dukes out these ideas and they're doing it. They don't need
Wait,
you
the
to chime
marketplace
in.
of ideas. Wait.
that's-
So the whole debate is about tech censorship, and you're gonna tell us that this isn't the part of the debate, guys. We're gonna talk about the scientific community and what
No,
the
no, no, no.
scientific community
Wait,
thinks.
can I reiterate?
About
Okay.
cancel culture, right?
Can I
Which
don't
I
think
think
he
should be
finished.
Can I
diminished.
finish? Can I please
Well,
finish? So what I'm trying to say is within
Can
the
I finish?
scientific community, there's a proper way to go back and forth. There are people who have published articles in journals, and if you want to publish journals right now about how masks don't work, you can go ahead and publish those journals in some shoddy journal article, pay for play, and they will publish your article, and then other scientists will look at that and respond and make official scientific responses. This is how these things happen. It doesn't happen over Twitter, whether or not people are commenting in the comment section that the science disagrees or not. So I think that we should leave the shits when it comes to science, especially. Let's leave the scientists to duke out these ideas, and then once there's a scientific consensus, then we can say, okay, this is how science works, right? There's a reason why they didn't come out right away and say, oh, everybody mask up, or oh, everybody
It did,
because
though.
the science wasn't in
Yeah,
on
they
it yet.
did.
The science wasn't in on it yet, and as soon as we get the numbers, we change our ways. And even with this lab leak shit, if it's proven that it leaked from a lab by accident, then that will be the stance. My question is, real quick, why do you guys care so much if it leaked from the lab? Like,
We're
let's say it
talking about-
leaked. Let's
No,
say it leaked from the lab.
Dr. Heemdout,
Now what?
Dr. Heemdout,
Now
we're
what?
talking about
Because
tech
then it's a matter of
censorship.
liability.
We are being censored because we said it leaked from a lab, and now scientific
That's the only
consensus
reason.
isn't so
I'm saying-
strong about it coming from a bat. That's the whole reason this was brought up, because the topic is
Okay.
about tech censorship. censorship, not about your scientific consensus. Okay, it's about
Okay,
tech
but I'm saying is
censorship.
without scientific consensus, you should be censored.
All right, we've got
Okay,
so many
so-
hands up. Wait. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Why do you all do this? You're professionals. You
So it's
shouldn't
a
do this. You
medical
should know not to talk.
oligarchy. Holy
Let me
fuck.
ask you a
no.
question. Let me ask you a question. Hey,
Right.
hang on one sec. Hypothetical.
Dr.
Let's say
Who?
Donald Trump had Twitter still, and he
Yeah.
came out and was like, "Listen, everybody, I have super secret information that insulin is fake. It doesn't work to cure diabetes." Should he be allowed to say that?
Well, boy, it turns out the hydroxychloroquine thing did come back to be
Right.
did come out in his favor. Look
He
like,
should
so.
be impeached for
Okay, so
saying that.
I
And
need
then-
to-
Yes,
I need to
should be able
Okay,
to say that.
Everybody stop. I want
I have a
CTV to
question.
be able to speak for a minute because he's been waiting patiently. There's also a lot of hands up. You're going to have to make this conversation a bit more free flow. CTV, go.
So the with regard to the argument for scientific consensus, I think it's important to realize that there was a time in American history where the scientific consensus was that leaded gasoline was a good fucking idea, right? And there were definitely lobbyists that put scientists forward there to say, "Oh yeah, leaded gasoline is fucking great," right? Come to find out, right, there were people that were inhaling this leaded gasoline over time, and then different health issues start coming up, and then like they figure out, oh, maybe leaded gasoline
You're
isn't
talking
so
about
fucking
industry.
great.
You're talking about
So-
industry
so right
scientists.
here's
I'm
a-
talking.
a
Wait, one
clear
second. You're talking about industry
Right
Let me
here's
scientists.
a
finish.
clear example, right, of people, right, looking to scientists for an actual fucking like a reason why these things are happening and the best way for the American people to move forward. And then whenever you come in with this after the fact to say, "Oh, well, we should just agree with the scientists," well, it's like, no, they don't exactly, as a community, have the best track record when it comes to doing what's right for the American people, which is why I would say at every single point, science needs to be questioned.
By scientists.
All right, before
Not,
Dylan.
no, not by scientists, by everyday fucking
one second.
common
How can
people.
someone without scientific knowledge have the education
Tell me
required
why
to
it is
question
that the
scientists?
motherfucking scientists were able to fucking get leaded gasoline fucking put out there for the people to take in on the market, and it was regular fucking folks that kept pointing this shit out, and then the scientists actually started doing their fucking work, and then
Yeah,
proved
Dr. Heem,
that
you
it was
tell 'em.
fucking leaded gasoline that was starting the problem.
Right, before anyone else goes, before Dylan fires me, go ahead, Dylan. You muted, really.
So the thing is, the first thing I'm gonna say is I would like to say that scientists actually have a great track record. It's just that when they mess up, it gets the most attention, right?
Titles
There's a
bias, Dylan.
it's confirmation bias, right? If we look around us, there's lights in our house is properly supported. We turn on the microwave and it works, and we got burritos in like 2 minutes, man. That's magical. That's all science. And we see all the times that science succeeds in our everyday life on a daily basis. Anytime you take medicine, anytime you drive your car to work, anytime you do anything, that's science succeeding. The thing is, the time science fails or gets something wrong on a scale that's kind of large, then of course we're gonna notice that more than all the times they succeed, because all the times they succeed, it's gonna be like this. You see in my room? 1 second. Boom, boom. That's a
Exactly.
scientific success. You don't even notice it. But the thing is,
Engineering
wait,
success.
let me finish. But when they fail, we all notice it more. Now, on the second point, we'll go back to SDHDBBCDOC about the publisher, everything else. Look, let's propose a proposal here for a second, okay? Let's say I start a social media company. I start a social media company for, let's say, gay people. It's for gay people to talk about gay issues. That's the whole point of the social media company. And so you get to a point where it's like, well, Dylan is, and I want to ban people who call me a dirty queer, right? Should I be allowed to do that? If somebody comes in and adds me and calls me a dirty queer, should I be allowed to do that? And when it
Well,
comes to
have you ever-
Facebook on whether
You asked a question, right? So what if they had evidence that you had done something a little bit dirty, right? I mean, you were talking about eating ass earlier, right? I'm just
Right.
saying.
I said I was gonna
Maybe
laugh
that-
at unfunny
maybe that's how
conservative
they're
jokes
making that
anymore.
correlation,
So I'm just
you
gonna
know?
I'll let that
Just
one
saying.
sit there.
Right.
Anyway,
Saying.
We've got 2 people waiting. Have you finished, Dill?
sure, why
Right.
not?
We got Phil and then Stardust, please.
Okay, now I just wanted to say I thought it was really funny that Dr. Hemd, he's
Hemed.
a Hemed, he's Canadian, and he's the one going, "Can I finish? Can I finish?" Okay, I'm finished. So I'm sorry, I had to point that out. But also one thing I just want, because we're talking about science here. Once again, the former CDC head Robert Redfield. I just want to read this quote to you, and I do not believe this somehow came from a bat to a human, and at that moment in time, the virus came to the human, became one of the most infectious viruses we have known in humanity for human-to-human transmission. Normally, when a pathogen goes from a zoonotic to human, it takes a while for it to figure out how to become more and more efficient. And so, I'm sorry, it happens to come from the one place where they have the Wuhan bat virus Walmart, basically. I mean, this isn't like, I mean, come on. 2 + 2 = 4, folks. And with that, I yield.
Stardust.
Yeah. So, I had a couple of questions. So, we keep saying somebody keeps saying that people were banned because they expressed a view that that this virus came from a lab.
me.
I would like to what I thought people were banned for was for denying that COVID existed or putting out conspiracy theories that masks didn't work. Or do we have like does somebody have like substantial like evidence that people
I
were
had
banned
videos taken down
based
where I
on
was
that?
talking about hydroxychloroquine. All I did was mention just saying the
Okay,
word.
but see, that's
you have
again
videos held for review.
hydroxychloroquine. Again, that is that's not the same thing as saying like, oh, there's a possibility of this coming from a lab. I need to see like actual substantial evidence that somebody was banned for saying this came from a lab.
The problem is, Stardust, Twitter and Facebook won't release who they ban or why they ban it. The Congress has asked plenty of times for Facebook and Twitter to release this information to discuss why the right is so heavily targeted versus the left. But Facebook and Twitter have consistently denied to
Okay.
release this information. So the information
you
you're asking
think-
for, the very companies I'm skeptical of, are hiding this information that you're asking for.
Do you think that it's possible that maybe some of these same people who put out that theory may have also been saying to not wear masks or saying other harmful things about specific medications or things like that? Do you think there's a possibility?
Some of them, yes, but I also know people who didn't say that and said
Well,
COVID
anecdotal is not really-
No. It is
Right,
fine
but-
right now because the evidence is not out there because Facebook and Twitter will not release it. So the only thing we have is anecdotal until Twitter and Facebook decide to release the facts.
Oh, we actually have something
Okay,
here.
but
According
so
to the Wall
again-
Street
so
Journal,
again,
according to the
we
Wall
don't
Street
have-
Journal, on
moving
May
forward,
27th,
I've had
Facebook
people-
ended its ban on posting asserting COVID-19 was man-made. So the Wall Street Journal reported that
man-made
Facebook
is,
had
again-
a policy of basically banning you from making
Man-
a lab
man-made
report.
is
should have had
again-
it.
Even though it's probably going to be
man-made is
indicated in the end.
again, it's different from saying that something leaked from a lab.
No, it's not.
Man-made,
No, it's not from a lab. It's
No,
yeah,
it's the
man-made.
same
it is.
thing.
No, it's
Wait.
not.
It's
No,
the
it's
same
not.
thing.
It
Wait,
is not.
wait,
It's
wait,
the
wait,
same
wait.
thing.
I'm talking.
Who
I'm
made
talking.
it in the lab?
I'm
Martians?
talking. I'm talking to moderate. I'm not talking
No,
to
dogs
participate.
did.
I'm talking to moderate. I would like to throw this back at Stardust and say, just assume the evidence is there that these people are getting banned. Should
Yeah.
Big Tech be able to do this in the
Okay.
first place? Is the gist of the topic?
They be able to ban people for saying that it was 100% definitely made in a lab?
Yeah.
So yeah, there are levels, right? If it's like people saying like, "Hey, I don't know," I don't know actually, but I guess I don't know. I have
Can
to
I-
think about that one.
Teamed, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead,
first
Heem.
of all,
Yeah.
just because something is being studied in a lab, it doesn't mean that it's man-made. Do you understand the difference between that, or should I explain it?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion.
Can I? Why are you guys saying "Oh God"? I'm confused. Do you
I would like,
do you
I-
disagree?
I'd like to have Dr. Heem censored until the scientific consensus agrees that what he's saying is true.
Oh,
Everything I say on my channel is scientific consensus. Just so you know,
Oh,
I'm a
so-
scientist.
so-
Why would I
so
come
where's the facts?
and
Where's the
disagree
facts,
with
Mr.
scientific
Doctor?
consensus? Huh?
Where's the facts, Doctor? Where's the facts? Okay,
literally
'cause all you've said is opinions so far. So what I'm saying is, until scientific
There is a
consensus is
difference,
proven
though.
that what you're saying is actually what you're saying, this is per you, right? I want you censored until you can show us that the scientific consensus agrees with you. But until
DrSprouticus,
Well, he
then,
you
won't
never
be
answered my
censored because
question,
everything
man.
he says is scientifically backed, right? He won't be censored. So, but, I mean, your
No,
point is
until-
moot,
until
dude.
it's proven.
Why are they allowing the discussion of the lab leak
everything
theory?
he says
Until it's
is
proven to
something
this
that
panel.
apparently
scientists
it's not a
say.
consensus
You
anymore.
don't get it. You
Well,
don't
Phil,
get it. You have to listen to get it.
I agreed with you. I agreed. I said when this conspiracy first started, there was zero evidence, and that's why it was censored. Now that there's more information coming out that perhaps there's a chance that this could have been, and there's more investigations required, it opens up the discussion again. Why is that so hard to understand? That's why Facebook
Don't
reversed
censor
their
things that
ruling.
could potentially be true.
right.
Let the facts bear them out for themselves. Let
The
people decide for
marketplace of
themselves.
ideas.
People are grown up enough to read and decide for themselves. There anybody in the audience
People are
who
fucking
doesn't
stupid,
think they're
man.
grown
People
up
are
enough to do
really
their own
fucking
research?
stupid.
Anybody?
Okay.
Please.
Before this continues,
you're telling
wait,
me-
team. Right, before this continues, I'd like to bring MindWaves on and see what he thinks, because he's just been sitting there quiet, drawing pictures of eating ass. You muted.
He's like, no.
What do you want my opinion on exactly?
Right, so the current
Yes.
argument is over whether big tech should have censored the rumors about the Wuhan lab virus leak or bioweapon.
I think this conversation about should big tech like these social media companies like Facebook or whatever censor whatever, like I don't care. Like why does our opinion on what that company should do matter? Like I it's their platform, right? They have the right to determine what is against their terms of service, what's not. If they think that spreading what is deemed to be misinformation about COVID or whatever other topic is against their terms of service, then yeah, it's perfectly within their right to do so.
They should be a publisher.
Yeah, that's why I say my question is more like, should there be a space for literally absolute free speech to some extent? Minus what's already covered, what's already barred via our like. First
You want
Amendment,
absolute
right?
free speech? Go into the public space and go do that. I don't know. Go protest outside. Go touch grass.
Yeah,
and
but you
some ass. I
would
don't know.
you definitely wouldn't you agree that being online you have a much larger presence than you ever would have?
Yeah,
just
but you're not
walking to your
entitled to
local town
anything
square and
online. You're
talking?
not entitled to have any sort of presence or say on any sort
Do
of.
you
It's
do
our
you think
taxes
that
that are building it.
wait? Do you think that internet should be like observed as a public or like a
No, I don't think that
utility?
when it comes to these
Getting
platforms, they are
Internet,
privately owned.
not platform. I didn't say platforms. Internet though.
What about the internet? You have free access
Do
to
you
it.
think that
What-
that is a? Yeah, but do you think that should be classified? Because I don't think it is yet. But I think there's a lot of people on the right and the left that would agree that this should be in the same category as like water, electricity, etc. Right?
your access to
agree?
it, yes, but like once you're actually on the internet, what you consume, what you're able to go on to, you have no control over that. You like that is not public domain, right? Like these websites are not the public domain. Like
But they're a
that-
platform, not a
Sure.
public.
And I don't
And there's a
feel any
difference in that
need.
that I
I
don't
don't
think you
feel any need.
understand.
Taxpayer
I don't think you
subsidized
understand
bandwidth to
the
run,
publisher and
so
a
they're getting a lot
platform.
closer to public utility than anybody'd like to admit.
I mean, MindWaves, do you understand the difference between publisher and platform?
I don't think you do, so I don't know why
I
you
do.
keep trying to bring it up.
So, I'm
Okay,
just curious
okay,
because
alright.
a publisher chooses
Oh,
what
you too.
does and what doesn't.
Right. We're going to end it there. We're going to go into closing statements. I think we're done. We went from responsible platform and big tech censorship to argue over whether it was right for Facebook to censor people that were conspiracy theorists. All right. So, yeah, thank you very much for participating. Let's go into closing statements. I want you all to give a brief shout out to your channel and your last thoughts on the topic. And once again, it's been delightful. You're all very professional. I'm glad I invited a bunch of panel hosts on that would definitely respect the rules. You all did that perfectly. Thank you. Nacho, first, please.
You can find me at twitch.tv/American_Nacho. I play video games. I talk politics. I am center right. I identify as a Tom Dewey Republican. Go do some fucking history and figure out what the fuck that means. I love you guys. Thanks for having me on. The tech censorship thing, I think there just should be a space for a bunch of dipshits to say whatever the hell they want. It could be like the UPS of Facebook, of social media, etc. It is just a place that exists tangent to all these other better places, which would be equal to like Amazon, FedEx, etc. Right? So some really rinky-dink place where everyone can just go say whatever the hell they want. That's my take on the last thing. And yeah, love you guys.
Thank you, Nacho. Right, Stardust, please.
I'm running an active poll in the chat. Come on.
All right, I'm going to go to CGV's channel and check the poll. Stardust, please, closing
Okay, look.
statements and an outro.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of claims that I've yet to see be like
I
kind
feel
of
like
backed up, and when you make a
there are
substantive claim, you have to kind of back that up. But also, I'm gonna I kind of side with Dr. Heemed on a lot of these issues because I was somebody who was I'm somebody who's involved in the medical field, and I'm somebody who was very uh, uh, paying attention very closely to the various claims because I work in the medical field, you know, and I was somebody who's paying attention to a lot of the academic journals on these things and the medical journals. So yeah, I agree with Dr. Heemed on most of this. I think though. I do think the internet is free. You can browse the internet to your delight, right? And just because one platform censors you doesn't mean that every platform is going to censor you, and you can probably go to another platform
Except for
because these are
Donald
all private businesses. Um, uh, yeah, I'm Stardust STRDST underscore. I do chaos panels every Saturday where we debate really mundane things that sometimes turn into more serious topics. Or often do. And I'm also streaming nearly every day, talking politics and memeing very hard. So, yeah, good stuff.
Thank you, Stardust. Chaos Cast is probably my favorite panel on Twitch right now. It's a lot of fun just to hang out and watch people shout about a ridiculous topic. Okay, we're gonna go to where's my numbers? Oh, CTV's number 3. How much to rent CTV for a day and a night?
Yeah, there's an active poll going on in the chat right now, and it looks like we are. The question is how much to rent CTV for a day and night, and right now $5,000 for a day and night is where we're at, right? So, like being said, I got the best chat on Twitch, right? My chat loves me. I love my chat. It's so fucking awesome, right? That said, what you saw tonight on the left was rules for thee, but not for me, right?
All right, I'm
Saw
gonna
a
mute
lot of
him.
that,
I'm gonna
right?
mute him.
I know, right? That's what happens. So always very happy to come on these panels and hopefully make some good memes with everybody, right? Hopefully MindWaves, you got back in the groove of things. You figured out like, you know, how to really get in there. You know what I mean? And Dylan, hopefully you know, I don't know, bro. Being so sensitive, man. Maybe you've been being a host too much, right? And you're starting to get a little sensitive because you hadn't been in the game. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. So anyway, always happy to see everybody. Nacho, right? I'm not sure if the leftist arc is complete yet, but you're definitely on the way.
Fuck it, dude.
See, it's funny, especially whenever I laugh, right?
Please don't. I'm running out of writers.
Anyway, have a good night, and CTV out.
Thank you, CTV. All right, next, Dr. Heemed. Muted again, professional, absolute
Brilliant.
professional.
Oh
Listen,
my
at least
God.
at least I had the courtesy to stay through everyone's closings, unlike CTV who just fucking dipped.
Professionals. He's even a host and he did it.
My parents always taught me to stay until everybody's ready to go, and you know, manners and shit like that. But anyways, in closing, I just want to say there's one idea that I've been throwing out, and I don't really know the implications of it and how it would go. I wonder how it would be to have 2 different TOSs. Let's say for when you get verified on Twitter, whether or not you shouldn't be held to a different standard. So that way the average person can still have the benefits of saying whatever the fuck they want. But as you grow larger, you have to be a little bit more responsible. So that's something that I wonder about and wonder what the implications would be. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching. It was awesome to yell at all of you and be yelled at by all of you. It was interesting to hear MindWave's story about coming on dogs. That's definitely going to be in my YouTube intro. And then other than that, I'm also going to be debating Big Papa F on COVID related issues, similar to the discussions we had today, next Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be doing a lot of prep for that, make sure I'm nice and ready. And if you like what you saw, you can check me out on Twitch, Dr. DrHeemedOut, or on YouTube, same name. I like to put out lots of different kinds of content. I do game shows. I do fucking hilarious memes. I have a beard cam. Everything you can think of and more. We do it over here at the Dr. Heemed Out Show, Monday to Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Dr. Team. Before I forget, I want to start up a new panel, right? It's going to be called the All Brown Everything. And we just get all the brown people on Twitch together and we talk about brown issues. I don't know what they are.
Yo, fucking base. Let's go.
We're going to do it. All right.
Perfect.
We got
toast.
2 of them here, so.
Next up.
3.
The Stars and Stripe guest, TheSprouticus.
So my name is TheSprouticus. You can find me on that on Twitch and Twitter. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can find me anywhere from 8 to 11. It may be as late as 9, but typically it's 8 to 11 or 9 to 11. But unless I'm in a different panel, then I'll do a day that I don't typically stream. But with that being said, I find it this last topic, I find it very hypocritical that the left is for censorship of the right until I brought up that I wanted Dr. Heemed censored until his own standard was met. And all of a sudden that seemed to be against the rules. So I just find it very funny how when we debate these things, the rules change. And it just changes based off of when it helps me and when it doesn't help me. Just like CTV said, rules for thee, but not for me. And I'll yield there.
Thank you very much, Spartacus. And you are my star guest, so I do apologize if I didn't moderate with heavy bias towards. I should have.
Oh,
Sorry.
I appreciate it, Danbo.
Right. And next up, MindWavesTV. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
Wow,
absolutely. It was fun to get back into the ring and duke it out a little bit, have some memes and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really bad at
The interest
outros.
months.
It's been so long. I don't know what to say anymore. If
Don't stay
you
woke.
Yeah, it's something like that. If you liked what I talked about, you could always check me out on my channel. My streams are kind of more chill these days. Usually just a space for a lot of content creators to come in and meme around
A
or
lot.
talk about about whatever the fuck. So any content creator that's here, you're always welcome in my Discord to chat whenever I'm live. And
You just shit posts on Twitter now.
yeah, I just shit post on Twitter. So follow my Twitter, MindWavesTV on Twitter. So
How did we not have the it discourse? I want to know. How did
Oh,
not one of
I
the
was
topics?
Mine was
going
too
to
busy
do
telling
that
people
topic,
what
but
pronouns they should have and they're allowed to have. He's too busy doing that.
I think
Yeah,
that
you
would
like
be
my,
irresponsible platforming. I don't know. I big tech censored myself on that one. Phil KOE.
Well, let me say the most irresponsible platforming possible is to not have Phil KOE of KOE Nation on YouTube and Twitch on your shows, folks. But it has been an amazing time being with all you beautiful people. I really just hope, again, like I said, you can find me KOE Nation YouTube and Twitch, where we're doing the 32 Rye tournament, where we're going to find out the rye whiskey of extreme. It's going to be a great time, folks. Also, in about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, I'm going to be hopping on to Twitch when I get to my mill. I hope to see all you beautiful people there, KOE Nation on Twitch. But every one of these people here, Danabo, Dr. Heemed Out, MindWavesTV, TheSprouticus, Stardust, American Nacho, DylanBurnsTV, you need to follow every last one of these beautiful people who has been giving you this amazing content. And let's be frank, folks, why even watch CNN? Why even go to Newsweek? This is the place to be. This is where the fucking news happens anyways, and this is where we fucking discuss it out. And one last thing, Danabo, thank you for hosting me. Thank you for having all of these beautiful people here. And also, Shell Shock CBD gummies. Come on, folks. You know it's the right thing to do. At least give them a check out. I mean, you got to at least look at them. But, folks, thank you. God bless every last one of you. I hope you have a happy, healthy, safe 4th of July. And we all come back here happy, healthy, much the wiser. God bless y'all. KOE Nation, YouTube, and Twitch. Catch you later, folks.
Thank you very much, Phil. And now I don't have to run my own advert because Phil did it for me. And I purposely left Dylan to last to torture him. Dylan?
So the first thing I would like to do is make some corrections. Number one, Mindwave
Okay.
said it was where a lot of streamers hang out. Barely no one anymore because again,
streamers?
the channel. And when he says there's chill streams, he would have to stream for it to be a chill stream. I guess that is the chillest of streams is when you
It's not
don't stream,
happening.
period, right? When it's not happening. So if you want to go there and just hang out and chat, maybe Mindwave just waits in the chat for like just people to wander in and like I don't know, cry over the fact that their
killing
favorite
me.
weed daddy was gone for like fucking 6 months, and every single time it comes back. Never trust MindWaves. MindWaves is like a person saying, "I'm gonna drop out. I'll never drink again," and the next day you find him in a fucking gutter with a fucking thing of vodka next to him, saying, "I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna stream from now on, guys. I'm streaming. I swear. This is the start of It's not the start of a new leaf. Okay, MindWaves will be gone. You go back to skating, smoking pot, and being a local delinquent. Okay, being a person who wishes he was 22 but looks like he's 37. Okay, look. Besides that, it's really funny that CTV was very angry about me getting offended, but when I just mentioned the fact that I might have a few more viewers than him, he fucking calls it dick waving and he can't let go of it. And then when I get offended, and then I just put a little Chinese flag in the background, or Chairman Xi in the background, and oh boy, you've opened a can of worms of how I'm unpatriotic to the United States of America, yeehaw, right? And lastly, I never got my question answered, so put aside the publisher and platform distinction of Section 230, which would then make them accountable for everything posted on said platform, or if there is even confusing on whether about the exact legal distinction. But let me just, like, the question I asked, which was never answered, was if you ran Facebook, if you ran Twitter, what would your policy be on moderation? If somebody came out and just started calling me like a dirty queer or started throwing racial slurs at other people, should that be taken down? And would that be an example of censorship of racists, which is a political position? Hey, if you censor racists, that is putting forward a political position.
All right,
So
I'll
I mean, like,
I'll answer you,
what is the
Dylan.
approach? I
I
just want
would
to know what the approach is.
I would take it down if it lost me money. That's what I would do.
If it lost you money, you know,
Yeah,
I
I
think
run a
that's a good
business,
idea.
so I would take it
My
down if it
thing
lost me
is,
money. Yeah.
my thing is, much like how that can destroy dialogue, so can disinformation. Disinformation can destroy dialogue. If somebody's spreading disinformation, say, about a terror attack that just occurred, that can be extremely harmful. If somebody's spreading disinformation about a disease that killed 600,000 Americans, that can be extremely harmful. If somebody's spreading disinformation about election and trying to influence it, like the Russian government tried to do through the Internet Research Agency, that can be extremely harmful. We need moderation on these platforms, point blank and period. People, whether we like it or not, need to be taken off because they're acting in disingenuous ways, trying to literally undermine the nation's discourse, undermine democracy. I'm not saying we ban opinions with the government, but if we say that companies have to host certain opinions or have to host a spreading of disinformation, that's going to be the death of many of these companies, because ultimately all that's going to lead to is a bunch of 4chan people going and spamming every thread with the N-word with bots. That's what it's going to lead to.
Thank you very much, Dylan. All right, for the closing, I would love MindWaves to do a real stay down closing. The one I've been doing every night since he's been
I
gone.
will. I absolutely will, in
Right.
good faith, because
you,
you know
everyone.
I think it's really cute that you always do that. First, I have some tags. Look at, I did everybody's name. Look at I got Danabo right
Oh.
here. I got Dylan right there. Real cute. Okay. I got look at, I even did the right wingers. Got Nacho. Got Spout right there. All right. Got CTV, got KOE. There you go.
Yeah.
Shout out. Stardust, your name was really hard. I just have to say, I worked on that one for a long time. And then I got Heemed up here at the top. So
Now,
there we go.
Hey,
since
did you
you
do
don't
mine?
stream, would
Wait,
this be
fuck.
classified as fan
I'm
art?
sorry.
Rock and
I
roll.
didn't see that you
Look,
made
Dylan,
one of me.
Dylan, I
Thank
get it.
you.
You're real threatened by my presence on Twitch. All right, I get it. All
I
right?
am trying to
qualifies as
I'm
my
bullying you
first
so
fan
you'll
art. I'm
stream
taking
again.
it.
That's what I'm trying to do.
He missed.
But with
he
that
missed,
being
he
said,
missed
I'm
your-
gonna-
Wait.
All right.
he missed
I
your-
missed
didn't know how
mine.
much he paid
I'm gonna
attention
give
to
you
my
guys
name.
a closing, all right, just like
Thank you.
Danabo wanted. And you know, everybody, stay dank, stay cloudy, stay woke, and stay comrade. All right, till next time, guys. Peace.
Fuck.
Peace. What a con.